Chapter 121. Take me to see the Silver Dragon King. Facing Wang Dong, Xiaolinger couldn't bring herself to strike. She could neither land a blow nor beat her down. The figure behind Wang Dong was still scheming against her. It made her blood boil. There was a reason she hated that person so much. In this life, the auspicious beast had not been manipulated by Xiaoling and was once again whole. That deep-rooted disgust, the physiological loathing, made it impossible for her to feel anything but contempt for Wang Dong. If Lin Xiao hadn't stopped her, she would have already skewered Wang Dong with her spear. For now, all she wanted was to find out exactly who was plotting against her and the entire Soul Beast clan. Once we see Tian, I'll tell you everything I know, Lin Xiao said, pulling her back, trying to calm her. Even if the Silver Dragon King awakened now, they couldn't kill Xiaoling unless his teacher recovered half his strength. Only then could they beat him. With Lin Xiao's current power, old Yao couldn't be healed that far. It was impossible. Xiaolinger looked at him and, despite her unwillingness, nodded and suppressed her rage. She took a deep breath. Let her live a little longer. Although Xiaolinger hadn't trained much recently, her cultivation had risen by 3 levels. She had reached level 69, and her strength had grown considerably, perhaps even enough to suppress a spirit Douluo. We can't kill him right now, she said, but causing him trouble isn't a problem. That piqued Lin Xiao's interest. Is there something else I don't know? He laughed softly. Naturally, her identity is special, and it's precisely because of that identity that she was created. We can make a big deal out of her identity. He paused, then pulled out paper and pen and wrote quickly. Xiaolinger leaned in to read what he'd written. Wang Dong, you entered Shrek disguised as a man. You are 1/3 of Tang Wutong's soul, the offspring of Xiaoling and Xiaowu. You carry the twin spirit weapons, the clear sky hammer and the radiant goddess butterfly. You are a direct descendant of the clear sky sect, which is not far from heavenly Do City. First father, the sky azure bull python, Nu Tian. Second father, the titan giant ape, Titan. Both were spirit beasts who sacrificed themselves to Xiaoling 10,000 years ago and were later resurrected by him. You may not believe this, but once the restriction in your mind is lifted and the other soul returns, you will become Tang Wutong. Wang Dong? Heh, what a joke. Using his soul power, Lin Xiao sent the paper sliding toward Wang Dong, who was still wandering and shopping. When she read disguised as a man, Wang Dong started to feel the words ring true. She hesitated at the twin spirits, but when she saw first father and second father and the note about a restriction in her mind, she believed most of it. 80%. That was more than enough. That restriction was something only her family and Huo Yuhao had known about. Now it was written out plainly. When Wang Dong reflexively searched for who had handed her the paper, Lin Xiao and Xiaolinger were already gone. I am only 1/3 of Tang Wutong's soul, she muttered, staring at the paper. Then, am I Wang Dong or Tang Wutong? Am I still the child of ancestor Xiaoling? Her excitement evaporated into confusion. She walked the street in a daze, the note trembling in her hand. Lin Xiao didn't care what became of her. She wouldn't die anyway, and had already left with Xiaolinger. Together, they headed for the Stardew Great Forest. You think the one plotting against me is Xiaoling? Xiaolinger said as they moved. From the clue on the paper and a little thought, she'd already figured it out. Lin Xiao gave her a look and asked, deliberately, Are you afraid? Xiaolinger snorted. If it had been a trick laid for someone unsuspecting, I might have fallen for it. Now that I know, it won't be so easy for him. Besides, aren't you here too? Xiao Xiaozi. When the time comes, we'll kill him together. Damn Xiaoling! Damn Shrek! She cursed him bitterly. But Xiao Xiaozi, why would Xiaoling want to plot against me? I'm not particularly special, am I? Lin Xiao appraised her from head to toe. You've got a lot worth wanting. Otherwise, why would Tian and the others guard you so strictly? You are the living manifestation of the Soul Beast clan's providence. As long as you live, the clan won't fall into decline. In fact, because of you, the Soul Beast clan will thrive forever. There's also your golden dragon spear and that sliver of golden dragon blood in you. I'm almost tempted to refine you on the spot. Such a talent would be top tier in any world. Xiaolinger chuckled. I didn't realize I was so precious. Xiao Xiaozi, You'd better keep a close eye on me. Lin Xiao smiled faintly. If it weren't for me, you would already have been manipulated by Xiaoling. Xiaoling's plot involves Huo Yuhao and Wang Dong. If your third eye absorbs Huo Yuhao's memories, Xiaoling can then send his daughter's soul into your body and influence you. Against that, you definitely couldn't have defended yourself by yourself. Xiaolinger curled her lip. It was unpleasant to hear, but she couldn't deny it. If she hadn't met Lin Xiao, she might really have been tricked. Who would have thought a so-called god could be so shameless? A calculated deception against an unsuspecting person like that would have at least an 80% chance of success, especially given how naive the auspicious beast had been back then. The two of them walked into the Stardew Great Forest. The moment they entered, Xiaolinger's auspicious beast aura flared without restraint. The unique radiance of the auspicious beast washed over the trees and paths. Spirit beasts in the forest bowed their heads as though in worship. As her strength had grown, so too had the power of destiny she carried. Soon, two figures appeared before them, Di Tian and Qi Wang. Di Tian frowned when he saw Lin Xiao. Level 60. Let me guess, you only show up when you need spirit rings? Di Tian sounded exasperated. Recently, this fellow never came for anything good, either asking for spirit rings for himself or for others. Are you really in my Stardew Great Forest to stock up? Lin Xiao grinned awkwardly. I'm here for something else this time. Di Tian looked unconvinced. Lin Xiao met his stare and said plainly, Take me to see the Silver Dragon King. Chapter 122, The Silver Dragon, Half of the Dragon God, Silver Dragon King. The moment those words left Lin Xiao's lips, the auspicious beast beside him stiffened in shock. Di Tian's aura shifted violently. Soul power swelled around him as his gaze locked onto Lin Xiao. Even Qi Wang's expression changed, and he reverted to his true form, staring intently at the young man. Despite being hemmed in by two immense auras, Lin Xiao remained completely calm. He showed no sign of fear or unease. Xiao Xiaozi, how do you know? Xiaolinger stepped immediately in front of him, a clear warning to Di Tian and Qi Wang not to act rashly. It made sense for her to be cautious. After all, it concerned their master. Di Tian and Qi Wang waited for an answer. Both still felt some goodwill toward Lin Xiao. Though they suspected he had come to the Stardew Great Forest to stock up, there was no evident malice. Linger, if I didn't know this, how would I be certain you were being targeted by a god? Lin Xiao said quietly. Di Tian's brows knitted. Targeted by a god? Explain. Xiaolinger poured out the whole incident. As she described Shrek and those two watchdog gods, a cold fury lit up Di Tian's eyes. He had survived since the era of the dragon god. Now he was genuinely angered. Shrek, that shameless Shrek, and those two watchdog gods, she spat. Do they really think our spirit beast clan is so easy to bully? Di Tian's killing intent swirled. He fixed his sight toward the distant direction where Shrek lay. But before he could act, Xiaolinger grabbed his arm. Stop, Di Tian. Don't act now. Xiaoling is a god. If we move rashly, she continued, our spirit beast clan could be annihilated. Di Tian hesitated. The idea of striking at the gods was not one to be taken lightly. Lin Xiao spoke up at once. I'm here to find the Silver Dragon King because the matters ahead require her approval. If you want to oppose the gods, Senior Di Tian, and you can decide, I'm willing to negotiate with you now, Lin Xiao added calmly. Di Tian's eyes narrowed. On what grounds? Show me the one behind you. He meant it literally. If Lin Xiao had backed support, let that figure appear. Lin Xiao smiled faintly. When I meet the Silver Dragon King, the one behind me will naturally appear. Di Tian frowned, puzzled by Lin Xiao's aura. His soul power was level 60, yet something about him carried an aura deeper even than many spirit saints. I hope your sincerity after all this time is enough, Lin Xiao continued. He spoke of how he had treated the auspicious beast with kindness from the beginning. He had never harmed her, and he had treated the spirit beast clan with respect. At that moment, a presence emerged from Lin Xiao's ring, Bingdi. The far north king's figure slipped into the open air and fixed Di Tian with a steady look. Di Tian, Bingdi said, the far north has allied with Lin Xiao. You can trust him. Di Tian's gaze sharpened. Is this your own decision or the joint decision of the three far north heavenly kings, including the Snow Empress? It's a joint decision, Bingdi replied. The Snow Empress is currently within Lin Xiao's sect. Xiao nodded. That's right, and it isn't just the far north. The merfolk clan from the Great Sea has also allied with him. Princess Leia of the merfolk is in the sect as well. The mention of the merfolk clan made Detian stare at Lin Xiao anew. Who exactly was backing this young man? He hesitated. This was not a decision to be made hastily. He turned to Xiao Linger, what do you think? The question startled her. Could she decide? After a heartbeat's thought, she said, Detian, I believe we should ally with Lin Xiao. I don't know all his cards, but I trust him. Those simple words struck Lin Xiao. He felt their weight, and gratitude warmed him. Detian drew a long breath. The auspicious beast chose you. Perhaps this is fate. Very well. Follow me. He might not have agreed if only the auspicious beast had spoken, but with the far north's decision and the merfolk's support, this young man might truly be different. Detian was curious, too. If someone like Dubuzi backed him, Detian would have sensed it. But now, nothing suggested such a presence. Still, the aura around the Lake of Life grew increasingly oppressive. Old Yao's voice rang in Lin Xiao's mind. Xiaozi, there are many powerful beings in here. Yes, master. This is the core of the Star Do Great Forest. Most of the savage beasts are concentrated here, Lin Xiao replied. Old Yao's tone turned grave. I sense it, an injured but powerful presence. I sense the silver dragon king you spoke of. Under Old Yao's probing, a silver dragon quietly opened its eyes. It had noticed Old Yao's aura. Coiled within the darkness, its silvery white scales shimmered faintly. Vast claws were sheathed like sleeping weapons, the entire body poised to strike. Its eyes were like lamps in the night. Sensing the probing, the silver dragon king moved and extended a vast divine sense. Detian, bring that young man and the auspicious beast to me. The dragon's voice rolled out like distant thunder, its breath filling the area with an overwhelming presence. Detian's steps faltered. He had not expected to attract his master's attention so directly. They crossed the Lake of Life and reached a hidden spot that from the outside looked like any other patch of forest. The savage beasts nearby noticed Detian leading a human in and gathered in the shadows, frowning. Xiangjun in particular, who hated humans, had no objections. His silence said the matter was not simple. Lin Xiao, Xiao and Detian arrived before the Silver Dragon King. In its true form, the dragon's bulk made Lin Xiao look like an ant beneath it. This was the Silver Dragon King, the half of the dragon god split by a single blade, the one who commanded the elements. Master! Detian and Xiao both called out in reverence. The dragon's breath eased. No need for such formality, it said softly. Its immense eyes settled on Lin Xiao. Human, let the one behind you come out. The dragon's perception pierced outward. I have sensed that presence. If I'm not mistaken, he is within your ring. Even injured, the Silver Dragon King's awareness was on a godly level, far beyond Detian's. Old Yao's probing had been the signal that drew the dragon's attention. Lin Xiao had expected Elder Yao to be discovered the moment he spoke. The Silver Dragon King was a true god, far stronger than someone like Detian, who had not yet ascended. Lin Xiao lifted his gaze and tapped his finger on his ring. In the next moment, Elder Yao drifted out of the ring, an ethereal, immortal presence, lightly stroking his beard as he emerged. Elder Yao studied the Silver Dragon King and, with a note of surprise in his voice, said, To think he's only a dozong, and a 6-star dozong at that, and injured. Only a dozong, he repeated, as if the word didn't match the expectation. Clearly, Elder Yao had been a bit disappointed. He had assumed this being might be at a dozun level, but it turned out to be merely a dozong. His remark left the others awkward, especially Detian. Who was this old man, talking so bluntly? Lin Xiao felt uneasy, too. The Silver Dragon King, a first-level god, was only a dozong. Then what did that say about the so-called god kings? Were they dozun? The Silver Dragon King didn't take offense. She could sense Elder Yao's power even though he only had a soul form. His aura marked him as an expert. She asked calmly, What is a dozong? Elder Yao explained, In my world we cultivate do qi. The ranks go, do ji, do practitioner, do master, then dozong, dozun, do sheng, and do dai. You're only a 6-star dozong, and you're badly wounded. Your actual combat power must be greatly reduced. That simple explanation confirmed what the Silver Dragon King suspected. The special energy the Luck Beast mentioned was Douchi. From Elder Yao's words, she also gleaned that he was stronger than she was. "I can also tell you're injured and not at your peak," she said. "Am I right?" Not wanting to admit defeat, she spoke up. Lin Xiao knew what she meant. Elder Yao's awakening in this world was already a miracle. He could hardly be expected to have his full soul power back. Even diminished, though, he could handle those limit Douluos. Elder Yao smiled faintly. "Correct. If I were to recover fully, this world could not satisfy my needs." "Perhaps that so-called divine realm might," the Silver Dragon King suggested. Elder Yao shook his head. He hadn't been to the divine realm and couldn't be sure. Lin Xiao inwardly scoffed. If a first-level god equated to a dozong, could the divine realm really hold anything to restore his master? It seemed unlikely. The Silver Dragon King took a breath. "I don't know how strong you were at your peak, but based on my estimation, you should be slightly stronger than the dragon god." "Stronger than the dragon god?" Detian bit his tongue, unable to refute when the claim came from the Silver Dragon King herself. Xiao Linger stared in shock. So Xiao Xiaozi's teacher was that powerful? Even her master admitted the other's strength. Lin Xiao agreed with the assessment. Even Electrolux had acknowledged Elder Yao's might. Could that dragon god compare? Elder Yao answered lightly, almost dismissive. "I don't know how strong your dragon god is either, but at my peak, someone like you I could crush with a flick of my finger." He spoke with casual certainty, and the Silver Dragon King fell silent. She had to admit she couldn't be sure she could defeat him completely, especially since he was reduced to a soul and his injuries were severe. Sensing the lull, Detian quickly broke it. "Senior, since you can tell my master is injured, can you heal him?" Elder Yao hesitated, then gave a mixed gesture. First a shake of the head, then a nod. Detian was confused. Could he or couldn't he? "Master, you probably could heal her, but you're not recovered yet, right?" Lin Xiao asked. Elder Yao smiled. "That's essentially correct. My soul power hasn't fully returned. Refining a grade 7 pill would still be rather difficult right now." His soul power had been spent in recent battles. He hadn't fully recovered to begin with. Refining a grade 7 pill would be troublesome. Difficult, not impossible. When he said it would be troublesome, he implied only that he couldn't do it at this moment. His gaze shifted toward Lin Xiao, and the meaning was clear. Lin Xiao might be able to do it later. Lin Xiao's soul power had reached the peak of the mortal realm, and in theory he could refine grade 7 pills someday. For now, he could only refine up to grade 4, and it would take several years before he could reliably make a grade 7. The Silver Dragon King could wait that long. She noticed Elder Yao's look and signaled it to Detian, who spoke up. "Lin Xiao, you." Lin Xiao smiled faintly. "Senior Detian, I can't do it now, but I will be able to later." It wasn't only about healing the Silver Dragon King. Lin Xiao intended to fashion a physical body for Elder Yao and another for Electrolux as well. He had many tasks ahead. The Silver Dragon King regarded him with a shifting expression. With such a powerful helper, Lin Xiao's prospects would not be small. An alliance might be advantageous. But what would the Soul Beast clan gain? The clan's rise mattered most to her. If the clan grew, her injuries could be treated in time. There was no need for immediate healing. She began to seriously consider an alliance. Suddenly, the Silver Dragon King's massive form convulsed. Her huge dragon body collapsed in on itself with incredible speed, and a blinding white light flashed. When it faded, the enormous dragon was gone. In its place stood a stunningly beautiful young woman. White hair, white robes, an air of serene purity. She was graceful and immaculate, like an immortal descended from the heavens. Lin Xiao stared, momentarily dazed. She was said to be the most beautiful woman on the Douluo Continent, pure, otherworldly, impossible to describe in words. Wherever she stood, beauty seemed to gather around her. Elder Yao gave Lin Xiao a discreet rap on the head. This kid's mental fortitude was lacking, unlike this old man, who remained unmoved. Female charm? Heh, merely a skeleton under pink flesh. Still, he admitted, the Silver Dragon King was indeed a rare, peerless beauty. Lin Xiao snapped back to his senses, relieved that Master's small reprimand had pulled him out of it in time. Chapter 124, Silver Dragon King, Guyuena. The Silver Dragon King floated forward, each foot suspended as if walking on air, until she stood directly before Lin Xiao and the others. Lin Xiao blinked back to full awareness and watched her quietly. "My name is Guyena," she announced. Lin Xiao froze for a moment. The name suited her perfectly. It was clear she had chosen it herself. Great Master only nodded slightly. "Taking human form will slow your recovery compared with your true form," he observed. Guyena was already aware. "I know, but for now the difference isn't significant." Great Master did not press the point. Guyena's gaze turned to Lin Xiao. "Little one, I heard from Tian that you sought me out. It wasn't just to heal me, was it?" Lin Xiao remained calm. Indeed, healing had not been his primary motive. Helping her would be a convenience later. He inclined his head. "I came because I want the Spirit Beast clan to join me." Guyena's brow tightened. "If you mean that sect of yours, I don't believe it's qualified." Lin Xiao smiled. "I said join me, not the body sect behind me." He meant himself, not the body sect. He planned to leave the body sect in his senior brother's hands. He wanted a force of his own. He had thought of this for a long time, and now, with the Merfolk clan already allied, the timing felt right. "I plan to establish my own force. The body sect will be part of it." "Are you satisfied now?" he asked with quiet confidence. At this stage, the best partner for such an undertaking would be the Spirit Beast clan. Lin Xiao's relationship with Spirit Beasts made the idea plausible. Guyena's tone was cool. "What would my Spirit Beast clan gain by joining you?" She felt some stirrings of hope, not only because of Great Master, but because of Lin Xiao's innate strength. An existence even mightier than a dragon god stood before her. Such a person could change the present balance. The auspicious beast, a mark of fate itself, had already pointed toward Lin Xiao. Guyena, who had dedicated herself to the revival of the spirit beasts, kept that goal at the forefront of her mind. "My duty is to give the Spirit Beast clan a perfect world," she said inwardly. Lin Xiao did not answer with rhetoric. Before she could sneer, he traced a circle in the air. A black aura poured out, forming a portal. Guyena's scoff died on her lips as she saw the dark opening. "Why so glum, senior? Not naturally a cheerful person." Lin Xiao teased with a faint smile. Guyena rolled her eyes. He was annoyingly casual. "Come, step in and take a look," he invited. The four of them passed through the black portal together. The chill and the scent of death from the undead semiplane washed over them. "This is a small world my teacher gave me," Lin Xiao explained. "I plan to develop it, to advance it into a great world, far stronger than the current divine realm. I know the predicament of the Spirit Beast clan. We will have to fight our way to the divine realm, and even then, the divine realm might not suit the spirit beasts. So why not create a world suited to us?" Hearing that, Tian's eyes brightened. Lin Xiao had spoken before of changing the cultivation system, a notion Tian had thought impossible. Now, standing in this seed of a world, the plan seemed suddenly attainable. "Lin Xiao, is this what you meant, part of changing the cultivation system?" he asked. Lin Xiao nodded. "Yes, the Douluo Continent will eventually be refined and merged into my world. With me as its master, changing the cultivation system shouldn't be impossible." Tian's excitement rose. He turned to Guyena. When she wasn't dazzled by other matters, her mind was sharp. "Ultimately, this world would be dominated by humans," Guyena said bluntly. Her meaning was clear. If the Spirit Beast clan joined, what would they truly gain? Lin Xiao saw the concern and answered steadily. "When you and I are equal in strength, balance can be achieved." "Every world needs balance," he went on. "If the spirit beasts stand with me, without spirit rings, and with a changed cultivation system, you won't be outmatched by humans." He did not promise a peaceful, complacent world. Development came through competition. Only through rivalry between humans and spirit beasts would a flourishing era be sustained. A single dominant power could not secure long-term prosperity. With the spirit beasts as a check, humans would have reason to unite and strive. Guyena listened. If he had preached only harmony, she would have distrusted him, but speaking of strength and competition satisfied her. Only if Lin Xiao grew strong would the spirit beasts have any real hope. "If that's the case, it may be acceptable," she said. "For this world, what do you need? Whatever my spirit beast clan can provide, we will, for the sake of that perfect world." Guyena had vision. Now she would show sincerity in return. Until now, Lin Xiao had laid out his own commitment. She would reciprocate. Lin Xiao smiled. "No rush. My sincerity doesn't end there. As the Silver Dragon King, have you ever heard of the Dragon Valley? Gu Yuena's expression shifted. He knew of the Dragon Valley? Of course she knew it, but at this stage she wasn't certain of its exact location. Dragon Valley was the secret realm formed by the convergence of dragon remains and dragon power, the burial ground of the dragon race, a small secret world. Ditian leaned forward. Lin Xiao, you know where the Dragon Valley is? Lin Xiao's smile deepened. Of course, and I plan to incorporate the Dragon Valley into this undead semiplane. Both Gu Yuena and Ditian inhaled sharply, to reveal that showed considerable sincerity. Lin Xiao could have taken the Dragon Valley for himself and kept everything inside. It would have been an immense boon. Instead, he shared the plan. Lin Xiao, I have to admit, your sincerity is substantial, Gu Yuena said, sounding impressed. A perfect world, plus the Dragon Valley. There was no denying how valuable that would be to the spirit beasts. Lin Xiao had his reasons, he had his own calculations, but by showing goodwill now, he could both win the Spirit Beast clan's support and gain their trust. That was no loss at all. Chapter 125. Lin Xiao, who refuses to suffer any loss. Lin Xiao waved a hand casually, as if his previous words were nothing more than a passing comment. There's one thing I need to make clear first. I know there are dragon souls in Dragon Valley, and the dragon god's heart as well. The dragon god's heart can be given to you, but the dragon souls must remain to guard my undead world, to serve as its enforcers. It's a place for them to settle down. You can accept that, right? Lin Xiao spoke calmly, his expression steady. Gu Yuena didn't hesitate. Such an arrangement wasn't unfavorable. Of course, but there must be other conditions? Lin Xiao nodded. Naturally. I want dragon flame. Dragon flame? Gu Yuena and Ditian exchanged puzzled looks. They didn't remember any flame in Dragon Valley. Of course, there wasn't any literal flame. What Lin Xiao wanted was for the dragon souls to sacrifice a sliver of their soul power to condense dragon flame. Even a small contribution from each soul, condensed together, would be formidable. A flame birthed from soul power would possess great potency. There isn't any dragon flame in Dragon Valley, Gu Yuena said. What I want is for the dragon souls to contribute part of their soul power to condense dragon flame. Gu Yuena and Ditian both frowned slightly at that. Lin Xiao went on, rather than letting them sleep away their existence until their souls dissipate, it's better to let them witness the rise of the Soul Beast clan. The contributed soul power won't harm them. You needn't worry. Why would I offer them a place to guard my undead world if I intended harm? In the undead world, their strength will increase and their soul power will slowly recover. It won't hurt them. Hearing this, Gu Yuena and Ditian relaxed. They could see Lin Xiao was sincere in his concern for their clan. Xiao Linger hurried forward. My lord, Ditian, please agree. Xiao Xiaozi has already shown great sincerity toward the soul beasts. Gu Yuena glanced at Xiao Linger and nodded. Very well. Since you have shown such sincerity, our soul beast clan must respond in kind. In addition to the dragon flame, the spirit bones within Dragon Valley will be given to you. I can see another cultivation system in your body, what your teacher called Do Qi. The two energies can be suppressed for now, but once you reach titled Douluo, your body might not be able to handle the strain and could explode. A soul core can help balance them, and you might need more than one. The spirit bones in Dragon Valley can supply immense energy. Also, I will give you a piece of living gold from beneath the lake of life. Ditian, when the time comes, teach Lin Xiao the method to condense yin-yang dual soul cores. Our clan will do everything we can to help you perfect this world and resist the divine realm. If you need anything else later, ask and we'll fully support you. Gu Yuena's sincerity was evident. They had reached cooperation. There was no reason to hesitate. The revival of the soul beasts was within reach. To refuse such an opportunity would be foolish. The Silver Dragon King speaks plainly. I look forward to our cooperation. Lin Xiao extended his hand. Gu Yuena took it. Their handshake sealed the alliance. Ditian turned to Yao Lao. Senior, about the grade 7 pill you mentioned earlier that can heal my lord's injuries, what ingredients are required? Could Lin Xiao refine one later? Yao Lao chuckled. You'll have to ask Xiao Xiaozi. At that, Xiao Linger also looked to Lin Xiao. She, too, wanted her lord healed. Lin Xiao scratched his head. Senior Ditian, Silver Dragon King, If I can refine a grade 7 pill and have enough heaven and earth treasures, treating the Silver Dragon King won't be difficult. When his strength and skill were sufficient, refining a grade 7 pill would be easy. Yao Lao gave an almost imperceptible nod. Detian looked at him, knowing only Yao Lao truly understood which heaven and earth treasures were needed. Yao Lao stroked his beard and listed the required items one by one. He slipped in a few extra items for himself. Lin Xiao knew nothing in this world came for free. There were still many immortal plants and plenty of pills that could be refined. Yao Lao had only used a few. He couldn't collect all the auxiliary treasures personally, but the soul beasts had all the time in the world to gather them. Xiao Xiaozi has the main heaven and earth treasures. I'm telling you the missing auxiliary items, Yao Lao explained, and I will personally teach him how to refine grade 7 pills. Detian, hearing the list, felt it a little insufficient for healing a god's wounds. Guyuana heard his unspoken thought and said, Detian, send out the great beasts to search. Find those items at any cost. As you command, Detian answered. He would scour the continent if he had to. Lin Xiao added, while you're searching, bring back anything useful. You can never have too much. Who knows, we might even refine pills beneficial to soul beasts. Detian glanced at Lin Xiao. This kid truly wouldn't accept any loss. Even this could be turned into gain. The Silver Dragon King gave Detian an encouraging nod, and Detian agreed with a resigned, fine. It was a small task, and there might be unexpected rewards. With our cooperation finalized, this world will now be called Undead. Undead, a place for the world's dead to settle, and a name signaling the annihilation of foes. The name was fitting. Guyuana considered it and found nothing amiss. Undead works. Lin Xiao continued, Senior Detian, for the search for heaven and earth treasures, go to the ocean and contact the Merfolk clan, or head to the far north to seek the Titan Snow Demon King's help. The Merfolk princess, Leah, is currently studying spirit tools with Sister BG, and their results have been promising. By the way, tell them a faction has been formed. The ocean could not be ignored in a search for heaven and earth treasures. Having Daitian approach the merfolk would put them at ease. His reputation as a beast god was not merely for show. Chapter 126, Detian's Two Uncles. Lin Xiao's plan won the Silver Dragon King's backing again. For the sake of her injuries, the Silver Dragon King was determined to take drastic measures. After leading everyone through the undead semiplane, Lin Xiao and the others emerged. Detian was about to go inform Xiangjun and the others when Lin Xiao stopped him. Senior Detian, don't rush off. I want you to come with me to one more place. Detian frowned. The Silver Dragon King's affairs were important. Where would he find time for detours? Before he could object, Lin Xiao added, the dragon souls of the Ice and Fire Dragon Kings are there. The Ice and Fire Dragon Kings. Even the Silver Dragon King looked up in surprise. Did this fellow know anything he didn't? Detian had to pause and let out a long sigh. Lin Xiao certainly had a way of pulling people in. Where is it? Once I issue some instructions, we'll go. Detian had seen the Ice and Fire Dragon Kings in the past. His Dragon God's claw had been bestowed by the Dragon God himself. Meeting those two had been inevitable. In seniority, they were his uncles. Guyuana looked to Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao, where is it? Sunset Forest, the Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well. The two guardian beasts Senior Detian encountered before were sent there to investigate, Lin Xiao answered plainly. By the time he finished speaking, Detian had already decided. His speed was unmistakable. Guyuana added, Detian, take Lin Xiao with you. I can't go out right now. If possible, bring back the dragon souls of the Ice and Fire Dragon Kings. She didn't know how much longer the dragon souls could persist or whether they might already have dissipated, so she didn't order him forcefully. Lin Xiao said nothing. Bringing them back might be impossible. Who knew whether the Ice and Fire Dragon Kings could still maintain their state? After he'd taken the immortal plants, Xiaoling might have already done something to the place. Lin Xiao couldn't guarantee anything. Many things had changed, and the original plan could no longer be relied upon. So Detian, Lin Xiao, and Xiaolinger left the Lake of Life and hurried toward Sunset Forest. Time had passed. Surely that brat Xiaoling wasn't still guarding the yin-yang well? Not necessarily. Xiaoling's mind was deep. he might well have been despicable enough to take further action. Half a day later, the three arrived at the ice and fire yin-yang well. The well was still surrounded by 7 treasures glazed nephrite flowers. A poisonous mist sheltered it. Detian waved his hand, and the mist parted, creating a passage. The 3 of them entered. The ice and fire yin-yang well they'd once known was desolate, completely desolate. No immortal plants remained. There wasn't even a blade of grass. Only the blue and red waters of the twin lake rippled, but their energy was much weaker than when Lin Xiao had first come. Lin Xiao breathed easier. It looked like Xiaoling had indeed acted. He was glad they hadn't arrived earlier, or they might have been caught. "This place isn't the same as before," Lin Xiao said, staring at the lake. "I don't know how the ice and fire dragon kings are doing." Beneath the surface, the water rippled, concealing turbulence. Having consumed the pill Medicine Elder had refined from octagonal mysterious ice grass and fiery passion flower, Lin Xiao was no longer afraid of the lake's influence. Detian and Xiao joined him at the shore to examine it. "They should be beneath this, right?" Lin Xiao asked. Detian nodded. "Let's go down and see. I don't know the details either." Xiao interfered. Hopefully, he didn't find the ice and fire dragon kings. Detian led, Lin Xiao and Xiao behind him. After 15 minutes, they arrived in a sealed chamber. 2 enormous dragon skeletons stood erect there, one radiating extreme heat, the other extreme cold. Detian recognized them instantly as the ice and fire dragon king's bones. Even as skeletons, they brought a long-lost warmth to him. 2 uncles. Detian's voice was rough. Memories of the divine realm and the dragon god returned, when his uncles had still been alive and the world had still seemed intact. Later, the Great War had changed everything. At Detian's cry, the 2 skeletons flared with red and blue light so bright Lin Xiao had to squint. The glare faded quickly, and when their eyes adjusted, they saw 2 dragon souls floating before Detian. He bowed to them with deep reverence. "Detian, I never thought we'd see you again." The Fire Dragon King said first, his soul tremulous with emotion. "Indeed, Detian, we never expected to meet you young ones again, just as our souls are about to dissipate," the Ice Dragon King added in a gentle, kindly voice. Detian's eyes were almost wet. Seeing his 2 uncles again both moved and excited him. "Uncles," he breathed. The Ice and Fire Dragon Kings exchanged a look and chuckled. Then the Fire Dragon King hurriedly asked, "How is the Spirit Beast clan now? Speak quickly." Lin Xiao and Xiao stood silently to the side while Detian slowly recounted the current state of the Spirit Beast clan, mentioned Lin Xiao, and outlined their upcoming plans. The 2 dragon souls listened and then drifted over to inspect Lin Xiao and the Beast of Fortune. "The power of fate grows ever stronger," the Ice Dragon King observed as he studied the Beast of Fortune. "Beast of Fortune, it seems the one beside you is chosen by fate." The Fire Dragon King looked at Lin Xiao. "Human lad, you've done well. Though the Spirit Beast clan and your kind have been at odds, from what Detian said, it's clear you treated the clan with kindness." Lin Xiao smiled. "One must give in order to receive. Thank you for the praise, seniors." "Seniors, may I ask, did something befall you?" Lin Xiao asked boldly. Xiao rolled her eyes. "They're in soul form, Lin Xiao. Can't you tell?" Lin Xiao shot her a look. "That's not what I mean. I mean the yin-yang well itself. When I was here before, the energy from the waters was far stronger than now." The Ice and Fire Dragon Kings exchanged another look. The Fire Dragon King's eyes narrowed. "So it was you, kid, who fought the divine sense here back then." 127, Chapter 127, The Ice and Fire Dragon King's Last Glory, clashing with a divine sense? Is that kid Lin really that fierce? Detian's eyes widened as realization dawned. How could that brat have such power? It must have been that senior who had acted. No wonder Master said that person was very strong. Someone who could even resist a divine sense had to be extraordinary. Lin Xiao scratched his head. "Back then things were urgent, so I just grabbed those immortal plants and took that divine sense under suppression. I don't know what happened after that." Lin Xiao briefly explained. The Ice Dragon King and the Fire Dragon King exchanged looks. The Ice Dragon King spoke up. "The immortal plants you took aren't a problem, and your suppressing that divine sense actually did us a favor. Truly, the presence of that divine sense was like a sword hanging over our heads. For that, you should be thanked." After you removed that divine sense, 2 Limit Douluo came to investigate, but they didn't find us. That wasn't the end. 2 months after those 2 left, the divine sense's true body struck and destroyed this place. We poured nearly all our soul power into protecting this sanctuary. If not for that, you might never have found us. This is also why you felt the energy here had weakened. Hearing this, Lin Xiao felt greatly relieved. It matched what he'd guessed. Xiaoling had indeed made a move, ruthless enough to destroy, rather than let others have it. Compared to Xiaoling, Lin Xiao thought he still qualified as human. He wasn't innocent, but at least he wasn't that cruel. So that's how it was. What is your situation now, seniors? He asked quickly. The 2 Dragon Kings smiled serenely. We have lived long enough. When the God King's attack came, we were prepared to bear it. To still be here now is already a blessing. Seeing you and knowing the Soul Beast clan will rise again, that is enough for us. They looked at Detian. Detian, go tell the Silver Dragon King she has done well. We hope she can lead the Soul Beast clan to an even greater future. Detian turned to Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao, can you save them? Lin Xiao shook his head helplessly. My master said the assault they took was too fierce. It's a miracle they've survived this long. They're living only because of what remains in their dragon bones. Detian's eyes reddened. They would part so soon after meeting, he found it unbearably difficult. Detian, what this young friend says is true, the Ice Dragon King continued. After that attack, what kept us alive was the energy stored in our dragon bones. The 2 Dragon Kings looked back on their long lives, glorious eras when soul beasts prospered, subsequent decline, and desperate struggle to survive. They had no regrets. Little Lin, what you have done for the Soul Beast clan, we won't live to watch its fruition. But we believe in you. This gift is from our clan to you. Please keep your promise to the Silver Dragon King and let the Soul Beast clan return to glory. Detian, live well and see the grand era of soul beasts for us. They met each other's gaze, and a mutual resolve shone in their eyes. Our combined energy isn't enough to condense a 2 million-year spirit bone for you, the Fire Dragon King said. But you need fire. We will condense a wisp of our growing natal flame. The 2 dragon souls smiled, accepting the choice. If Lin Xiao and his companions hadn't appeared, their remaining days would be few. Better, they decided, to give all they could to help their clan's future. Detian's vision blurred. He reverted into his dragon form and lay quietly before the Ice and Fire Dragon Kings. Xiaolinger also resumed her true 3-eyed golden lion form and lay down beside him. Lin Xiao bowed deeply to the 2 dragon souls. With my Ice Dragon power, with my Fire Dragon power, Dragon God above, I, the Ice Dragon King, Fire Dragon King, willingly sacrifice my soul and use my dragon bones as a medium, combining our 2 powers to condense the natal flame. Ice Fire Mysterious Dragon Flame. Under the guidance of the Dragon King's souls, the immense energy contained in their dragon bones was drawn out. Blue and red currents rose and began to intertwine in the air. The Dragon King's spirits slowly faded into that energy. Detian, auspicious beast, the Soul Beast clan is in your hands, one of them said. Take care. Detian and the auspicious beast watched, bloodshot-eyed but without shedding tears. Lin Xiao felt a jolt of guilt. These 2 had expended themselves for him. He swore inwardly to make amends to the Soul Beast clan in the future. As the Dragon Bone's energy was exhausted, the red and blue flames condensed into a singular, radiant conflagration. The Ice-Fire Mysterious Dragon Flame was the last glory of the 2 Dragon Kings, a natal flame formed by the final outpouring of their souls and bones. Lin Xiao felt the flame's power immediately. It was stronger than the cluster of flames he'd encountered in the deep sea, capable of suppressing Dragon Clan's strength and of burning the soul itself. With this gift, he would gain a 4th type of flame. After the dragon souls vanished, Detian and Xiaolinger returned to human form. Detian stared at the flame, torn, but he had made up his mind. Lin Xiao, absorb this flame. Do not bring shame upon it. He walked to Lin Xiao, placed a hand on his shoulder, then stepped back, leaving Lin Xiao and Xiaolinger alone. Lin Xiao took a steadying breath and tapped his ring. Old Yao materialized, looked at Lin Xiao and at the flame and said, "This is their gift. You won't suffer much pain absorbing it. It contains their soul power, so it won't reject you." Relieved, Lin Xiao began to absorb the flame. He activated his burning technique and fed on the flame. As old Yao had said, this was different from before. There was still pain, but far less than when he had absorbed the ocean flame. Even so, the energy within was immense, surpassing the deep-sea cluster in power. While Lin Xiao refined the flame, old Yao chatted with Xiaolinger, and Detian joined them. Time blurred in the secluded space as Lin Xiao's aura steadily rose. His soul power remained at level 60, but his dou qi climbed, his presence growing stronger and more profound with each passing moment. Note: the author considered the yin-yang mysterious dragon pill and once thought to refine it using the Ice and Fire Dragon King's souls, but that would not be appropriate for the alliance with the Soul Beast clan. The yin-yang mysterious dragon pill will appear later with different materials. Also, regarding spirit bones, due to the plot, all the energy was used to condense the flame. The protagonist will not be lacking spirit bones later. Chapter 128. The ice and fire disappear. The fourth flame appears. The energy locked inside the ice-fire mysterious dragon flame was immense. Lin Xiao had no idea how much time had passed while he refined it. Great Master Yao and the others only noticed that the aura around him kept changing, gradually growing stronger bit by bit. While Lin Xiao continued his refinement, Detian left first. Too much time had already been spent, and Detian had pressing matters. The Silver Dragon King's recovery could not be neglected. It was a pity Lin Xiao hadn't managed to tell them the location of Dragon Valley, but Detian and the others weren't worried. Dragon Valley wasn't a place anyone could stumble across. As long as Lin Xiao was still around, they would learn of it in time. Xiaolinger resumed her own cultivation, with Great Master Yao standing guard. 2 months later, Lin Xiao finally emerged from his refinement. His aura had become far more solid. Every movement now radiated an intimidating presence. He withdrew the lingering aura and exhaled in relief. "Master, how long did it take?" Lin Xiao asked as he approached Great Master Yao. 2.5 months, Great Master Yao answered, stroking his beard. "It took a while, but Xiaozi, your strength has improved considerably. You've reached 5-star Douling, and your burning technique should have advanced to the mid-profound stage." Lin Xiao chuckled modestly. "All thanks to a few opportunities. If I'd cultivated the ordinary way, it wouldn't have been this fast." Great Master Yao smiled. "Luck is part of strength, and your fortune has grown a great deal too, not as strong as that Huo Yuhao fellow's, but far beyond a normal person's." Hearing that, Lin Xiao felt uneasy rather than pleased. If his fortune became too conspicuous, it would attract unwelcome attention, especially from that brat Huo Yuhao. He'd rather keep things hidden for now. "Master, can my fortune be concealed?" he asked quickly. "Don't worry," Great Master Yao said with a soft laugh. "Not only yours, Linger's fortune has been concealed since the day I met her." Relief flooded Lin Xiao. His master had been more cautious than he'd expected. At that moment, Xiaolinger finished her cultivation as well. She rose slowly, bowed respectfully to Great Master Yao, then looked at Lin Xiao with a bright smile. "Xiaozi, I'm breaking through to level 70 very soon. You'd better hurry up," she said, clearly pleased. "You have both ultimate ice and ultimate light," Great Master Yao had already noted. "After level 70, your progress will slow." "Humph. And you? You've got ultimate fire and ultimate light. Your pace will slow too. Who knows who will surpass whom?" Lin Xiao teased. Xiaolinger laughed and didn't mind. Both of them had ultimate attributes. Both would inevitably slow down. Lin Xiao thought of the vast soul power required to become a titled Douluo. If he distributed the same power among ordinary spirit masters, it could likely produce 3 or 4 titled Douluos. Great Master Yao watched the two of them with quiet satisfaction. Lin Xiao turned and asked, "Master, do we still need to take the Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Wang well into the undead semiplane?" "It's necessary," Great Master Yao said. That yin-yang well was sustained by the remnant soul power of the Ice and Fire Dragon Kings. Although the Dragon Kings are gone, the energy they left can probably sustain the well for roughly a century, maybe a little less, but it's still a valuable treasure for now. When you grow stronger, you can extend its lifespan. It'll also be a fine place to cultivate medicinal herbs. "Then let's take it." Lin Xiao had planned to claim the place. Now was the perfect opportunity. The three of them stepped from the small closed space into the ruins. Electrolux appeared beside Great Master Yao. When Xiaolinger's gaze fell on him, Lin Xiao introduced him with a smile. This is another of my masters. At his peak, he was a god. Xiaolinger nodded, understanding. Lin Xiao and Electrolux rose into the air and began to cast the sealing spell. A vast magical force wrapped around the ice and fire yin-yang well. Great Master Yao's expression changed as his soul force shuddered. The well trembled, the ground shook. The undead semiplane opened its maw and began to suck the well inward. With a thunderous roar, the ice and fire yin-yang well vanished. Xiao Xiaozi, we'll handle the well inside, Great Master Yao said. You two be careful on the way back. He and Electrolux entered the undead semiplane together. Lin Xiao nodded and led Xiaolinger away from the crater that remained. On the way, he explained Electrolux's situation to her. If Her Majesty knew you had another teacher, she'd be surprised, Xiaolinger mused. Lin Xiao smiled. It doesn't matter. We've reached an understanding now. A kind of cooperation. True. What are your plans next? She asked. At this stage, they could afford a bit of rest, but Lin Xiao's expression told her he had a plan. I'll visit the Holy Spirit cult to collect some windfalls, and I'll go into the evil spirit forest to secure my 6th spirit ring. The clan of the Evil Eye Tyrant Sovereign should suit me. I'll need powerful mental energy for future alchemy. I'll also visit my senior brother and sister in the Sun Moon Empire. He had a clear road ahead. A sword hung over his head. Until he dealt with Xiaoling, he couldn't relax. What about you? He asked. Xiaolinger hesitated, then tilted her head. You should go to Dragon Valley first. You have Golden Dragon blood, a derivative of the Golden Dragon King's line. If you cooperate with the Silver Dragon King, you too might locate the Dragon God's heart more easily. We'll meet again later in the Sun Moon Empire. Besides, your attributes don't suit the Holy Spirit cult much. She weighed both needs and chose the urgent one. Sighing, she took his hand. All right, don't disappoint me next time. Lin Xiao quoted lightly, if love between both sides can last for aye, why need they stay together night and day? Then, grinning, he added, besides, I'm still young. Xiaolinger's pleased expression froze at the last remark. I'm leaving, she said, but the scolding carried a smile. 2 weeks later, they returned to the body sect. When Doupo saw Lin Xiao, he was stunned. Lin Xiao's cultivation level still read 60, but his aura now felt like that of a spirit Douluo. The change was unmistakable. Chapter 129. He has a very evil talent. Doupo widened his eyes and appraised Lin Xiao from head to toe. I can accept Linger being close to rank 70, but how did you manage this? You're only rank 60, yet the aura you're giving off is like a spirit Douluo. Lin Xiao smiled sheepishly. It's nothing, just absorbed another flame. Doupo laughed. Ha ha ha, good lad. So that's it. Not bad at all. When are you going to get your 6th spirit ring? The plan is to head to the evil spirit forest later to get the 6th ring. While I'm there, I'll pay a visit to the Holy Spirit cult to try and gain something, and then I'll check on eldest senior brother and the others. Lin Xiao's voice was calm but decisive. Don't forget the attributes of my spirit, Doupo reminded him. Hearing that, Doupo laughed freely. That kid really wouldn't let anything slide. If you go to the Holy Spirit cult now, those cultists will have a surprise waiting for them. Teacher, how has the sect been doing these past months while I was away? Lin Xiao asked, concern threading his tone. Nothing major, Doupo replied. With the Snow Empress here, we've been okay. Progress on spirit tools has been fast. BG and Liya have a lot of talent. Doupo's voice grew wistful. If the Soul Beast clan had developed spirit tools earlier, the situation wouldn't be so precarious. Humans would have had to take them seriously. Lin Xiao nodded. Then let's invest heavily in spirit tools and equip the sect with stationary spirit tool shells. Just in case Shrek gets desperate and does something reckless. Also, teacher, I don't know how long I'll be gone. I'll teach you the magic to open the undead semiplane, Doupo said after a moment. I'll take the Snow Empress with me to the Holy Spirit cult. If something goes wrong, you can all enter the undead semiplane to take refuge. We can also synchronize information from there. Lin Xiao felt it prudent to have a backup. Better safe than sorry. Doupo frowned, understanding the gravity behind Lin Xiao's words. People are unpredictable. If Shrek decided to attack the body sect, they needed an escape. Fine. If it comes to that, I'll follow your plan. Dubusi was as calculating as Lin Xiao. In the original timeline, he might have fought to the death, but now with a fallback, he would play his hand carefully. He wanted to see Shrek fall, to see Xiaoling defeated. His ambitions had not dwindled. Soon after, Lin Xiao taught Dubusi the method to open the undead semi-plane. When he finished, he returned to his three-story pavilion. Inside, several people had gathered. Xiaolinger, the Snow Empress, Xiao Xiao, BG, Zhang Lexuan, and Li Ya. Li Ya stayed close to Xiaolinger's side while the Snow Empress and BG sipped tea together, quietly discussing something. Zhang Lexuan and Xiao Xiao sat opposite Xiaolinger, smiling faintly. The group was unusually harmonious. The moment Lin Xiao walked in, all eyes turned to him. The Snow Empress flushed faintly when she saw him. BG chuckled and took a demure sip of tea, as if everything had already been understood. The little auspicious beast, the Ice Empress, rushed over and leapt into the Snow Empress's arms. Zhang Lexuan and Xiao Xiao were unsurprised. They already knew BG and the Snow Empress's identities, so the Ice Empress's appearance didn't seem odd. Lin Xiao grinned. What, never seen someone this handsome before? The girls rolled their eyes. Shameless! He sat down and told them his plans. No one objected. The Snow Empress quickly returned to her usual composed demeanor and said, Lin Xiao, I'll go with you when the time comes. Thank you. Lin Xiao bowed his thanks. He'd wanted to call her Little Snow Empress, but she'd already recovered and he restrained himself. He turned to Xiao Xiao and Zhang Lexuan. Are you two doing all right? Xiao Xiao nodded earnestly, a small smile at her lips. Lin, big brother Lin, I'm doing fine. Zhang Lexuan's voice was indifferent but steady. I'm fine. When I have time, I might even visit my grandfather in the Sun Moon Empire. Hearing that, they were well eased Lin Xiao's mind. After a while of chatting, he went upstairs to rest. The others returned to their easy camaraderie, peaceful, with no undercurrents. 3 days later, Lin Xiao, Xiaolinger, the Snow Empress, BG, and Li Ya stood at the body sect's main gate. The Snow Empress stayed at Lin Xiao's side, while BG and Li Ya flanked Xiaolinger. Linger, we'll meet later in the Sun Moon Empire, Lin Xiao said. Xiaolinger nodded gently. Without fanfare, she turned and led BG and Li Ya away first. Their job was to escort Xiaolinger safely. Protecting the auspicious beast was still vital. Lin Xiao had already told Xiaolinger the location of Dragon Valley. With Xiaolinger gone, Lin Xiao faced the Snow Empress. Let's go. They were heading in different directions. Xiaolinger toward the Sun Moon Empire, Lin Xiao and the Snow Empress toward the Evil Spirit Forest, where the Holy Spirit cult was rumored to be. With the Snow Empress by his side, Lin Xiao felt more at ease. The Holy Spirit cult had 2 limit Douluos. Lin Xiao couldn't be sure whether they could detect his true identity. Ye Shui and Long Xiaoyao were top-tier experts. Ye Shui even possessed a pseudo-rank 10 spirit tool. Getting anything from the Holy Spirit cult would not be easy. They enjoyed each other's company on the journey. Lin Xiao used magic to alter his appearance. Once they left the body sect, he no longer looked like his original self. They soon discovered that the Holy Spirit cult's base was right inside the Evil Spirit Forest, and surprisingly, the Sun Moon Empire had a partnership with the cult. On purpose, Lin Xiao didn't completely hide the dark aura clinging to his body. He made a show of trying to conceal it, letting it flicker and trail like an intermittent shadow, as if he wanted to hide it but couldn't quite manage. It gave him the air of someone anxious and hunted. 2 days after Lin Xiao entered the Sun Moon Empire, Old Yao's voice echoed in his mind. Xiao Xiaozi, you've been noticed. That dark aura of yours is too obvious. Lin Xiao smiled inwardly. Heh, master, if I didn't do this, how would I attract the Holy Spirit cult's attention? Old Yao chuckled through their mental link. You little rascal, walk casually into that alley over there now and you'll run right into them. Lin Xiao's face showed no emotion as he acknowledged the instruction and drifted toward the narrow alley. As he entered, his gaze sharpened. Since you're here, come out. Swoosh, 3 figures stepped out into the alley. One sniffed the air and licked his lips. What a wonderful dark aura. You smell so rich. Heh, kid, what a talent for falling into darkness. Chapter 130, Blue Silver Saintess, Phoenix Saintess. Surrounded by 3 men from the Holy Spirit cult, Lin Xiao put on a frightened face and looked at them warily. The more terrified he appeared, the more delighted they became. Ha ha! D, strike! Bring him in. With this wonderful darkness, he'll surely become a candidate for our cult's holy son. Wonderful. How wonderful. Under Yao Lao's perception, the three were roughly at spirit Douluo level. Lin Xiao tried to place them, but his memory was fuzzy. Aside from a few prominent figures, Scorpion Tiger Douluo Zhang Peng, 10,000 Soul Douluo, Abomination Douluo, Zhongli Wu, Ye Shui, Long Xiao Yao, the rest of the Holy Spirit cult blurred together. He had only vague impressions of these three. Gee, came their eerie chuckles. Kid, meeting us is your stroke of luck, one of them said. The evil soul master called D reached out and grabbed Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao put on a desperate struggle, but it was all an act. He wasn't using any real force. With his current strength, handling 3 spirit Douluos would be trivial. If he revealed that power, they'd become cautious. So he kept up the performance. He'd even had Electrolux alter the colors of his spirit rings. Yellow, purple, black, completely ordinary. Yao Lao had concealed the aura that might have betrayed him. Lin Xiao had gone so far as to change his voice. If anyone saw him now, they might not recognize him at all. Stop struggling, kid. The evil soul master knocked him unconscious. Inside the ring, Yao Lao woke him and spoke into his mind. Xiaozi, do you know these 3? I have some impressions, master, but I can't recall their full names, Lin Xiao replied. If I knew their names, it might help. By their auras, they're mid to high-level members of the Holy Spirit cult. Yao Lao stroked his beard. Tell me everything you know about the Holy Spirit cult. Lin Xiao quickly summarized what he remembered. Yao Lao's expression didn't change. He said coldly, the Holy Spirit cult has no need to exist. Understood, Lin Xiao answered. He'd never meant to let the Holy Spirit cult survive. The Douluo Continent needed reform. An organization like the Holy Spirit cult only spread slaughter and corruption. The 3 evil soul masters were elated as they carried Lin Xiao and vanished into the Sun Moon Empire. After a long journey, they entered the evil spirit forest. As soon as they crossed the threshold, Lin Xiao felt the forest's oppressive, evil aura. The dark woods were deathly quiet. Only the occasional crow flew across and cawed. The deeper they went, the more deserted and sinister it felt, as if life itself had been squeezed out of the place. He couldn't tell whether this path was unique to the cult or if the forest itself was naturally like that. Lin Xiao continued to feign unconsciousness. 2 days later, the 3 men woke him. We're here, kid. Welcome to the Holy Spirit cult. Celebrate your joining, kid. Lin Xiao tried to shout, struggling theatrically. Let me go. I won't join the Holy Spirit cult. You're evil soul masters. I won't become one of you. He roared with all the bravado he could muster, deliberately showing his hatred for the cult. The 3 brothers smiled wickedly. That isn't for you to decide anymore, one said, and knocked him out again. Of course, Lin Xiao was faking. Take him to see the cult leader. Let the cult leader convert him personally. I don't believe he won't like our Holy Spirit cult once he experiences it, another said. Heh. The 3 laughed in cruel unison. Lin Xiao wondered who the cult leader was. It should be Zhongli Wu. Bringing him before Zhongli Wu was clearly meant to pressure him deeper into depravity. But Lin Xiao wasn't afraid. The holy necromancer had been his teacher. A little evil was nothing. They walked further into the cult and arrived at a grand hall that radiated a terrifying aura. 2 women stood just outside the entrance. One was tall, the other slightly shorter, but both gave off an uncanny, murderous presence. The air around them smelled faintly of blood. Their pupils glowed crimson, and they wore black robes. The 3 bowed and called out, "Greetings, saintesses." At the sound of that title, Lin Xiao recognized them. These were the 2 saintesses Shrek had trained for the Holy Spirit cult, the Blue-Silver Holy Maiden, Tangya, and the Phoenix Holy Maiden, Ma Xiaotao. After everything that had happened, Ma Xiaotao ending up in the Holy Spirit cult made grim sense. With that twisted aura, she had nowhere else to turn. Being taken in by the cult and elevated to saintess was in a dark way logical. Tangya and Ma Xiaotao didn't question anything. They nodded at the 3 men and let them bring Lin Xiao inside. They didn't recognize him either. His appearance, aura, voice, and even his spirit rings had been altered. It would have been strange if they did. Xiaozi, Yao Lao transmitted to Lin Xiao. Ma Xiaotao's evil fire has grown much stronger. Master, is Ma Xiaotao already a spirit saint? Lin Xiao asked. Yao Lao nodded. Yes, she's a spirit saint now and seems to be a high-level one. Her strength has increased rapidly, but it's unstable. Not just her, Tangya is similar. She's reached Spirit King, but her foundation is shaky. A shaky foundation was expected. Once someone walked the path of evil soul mastery, their power could surge quickly, but the method, sacrifices and blood, was not a righteous one. Rapid growth came at the cost of a weakened basis. Still, many chose that path for the immediate increase in strength and the ease with which inner desires were amplified. The evil self often revealed what someone had hidden beneath their masks. As the three evil soul masters escorted him into the hall, Ma Xiaotao glanced back at Lin Xiao. There was a flicker of familiarity in her eyes, but she couldn't place it, and she didn't dwell on it. Once someone entered the Holy Spirit cult, they became one of its own. Chapter 131, Go Summon the Soul Douluo. Ma Xiaotao felt a flicker of recognition when the three evil soul master brothers brought someone in, but she couldn't place his face. She hadn't forgotten what Lin Xiao had done to Shrek. The corruption of the evil fire only intensified her hatred of Lin Xiao. Everything was his fault. She wanted to kill him, but she couldn't even identify him. Xiao Xiaozi, Ma Xiaotao glanced back at you. Yao Lao's voice echoed in Lin Xiao's mind. Lin Xiao smiled inwardly. He couldn't move a muscle. He was still unconscious, but he answered in his head. Master, I didn't expect her to hate me so much. Even like this, she still sensed something off. He sighed. Enemies often understood you better than friends did. Knowing yourself and the enemy led to victory. He was confident he would show no weakness in front of Xiaolinger. Indeed, even if he stood before her, she might not recognize him. Ma Xiaotao's sharpness was an unwelcome surprise, but she only felt familiarity. She hadn't identified him. If she had, being discovered on his first day at the Holy Spirit cult would have been a real problem. Don't worry, she won't recognize you. You still have me, Yao Lao chuckled. That was Lin Xiao's greatest advantage. With Yao Lao at his back, he was at ease. Once they entered the hall, the three evil soul master brothers dropped their casual demeanors and adopted gravity and respect. In the deepest chamber, a breathtakingly beautiful woman slowly opened her eyes. She seemed to sense an unusually pure aura of darkness. After a moment, she closed her eyes again and murmured, "Heh, a true evil soul master has come." Her voice drifted through the darkness like a ripple, fleeting and cold. Beside her stood a tall man, silent and watchful, simply guarding her. He glanced out at the newcomers, then returned his attention to the woman. The three brothers carried Lin Xiao to the throne. Seated there, a strange man scanned the four people below. His lips moved, and his voice filled the hall with authority. "Zhongli Ren, Zhongli Di, Zhongli Tian, why have you come?" He spoke deliberately. He had already perceived the faint darkness about Lin Xiao and kept his gaze fixed on him. Lin Xiao, despite being unconscious, heard the voice and immediately remembered who these three were. The ones who had cooperated with Kai Mayer in the Star Do Great Forest in the original timeline. Spirit Douluo rank, capable of contending with titled Douluo. They were rare pillars of the Holy Spirit cult. Lin Xiao considered himself lucky to have met them so quickly. Lucky, too, that it was these three. Not every evil soul master knew the way to the Holy Spirit cult. Had some lesser member found him, who knew how long it would have taken to reach the stronghold? "Leader," Zhongli Tian said respectfully, "you must have noticed. This one beside us is a natural evil soul master. That darkness, if we make him sink into it, he'll be a rare holy son for our cult." A greedy smile spread across the man's face on the throne. How could he not see it? This darkness, raw and resistant to suppression, was exactly what they had been searching for. Once this child matured, he would be the darkest, most outstanding demon in their ranks, the Holy Spirit cult's crowning achievement. The man on the throne was none other than the current leader of the Holy Spirit cult, a descendant of the death god Douluo Yeshishui and the old ghost Zhongli, a level 98 super Douluo, Zhongli Wu. He rose from his seat and approached. A terrifying surge of soul power erupted from him as he tried to trigger the darkness within Lin Xiao. "Xiao Xiaozi, he's trying to provoke the darkness in your body. Don't resist, release it," Yao Lao warned in Lin Xiao's mind. Lin Xiao understood. If they wanted to see, he would show them. Cooperating with Zhongli Wu, he let the dark aura in him flow out. The darkness that poured forth was astonishingly pure. No taint of malice, no grotesque corruption, just pure, impenetrable darkness. Zhongliwu greedily inhaled that essence. "This is what we seek," he said, savoring it, "but it's missing something. Missing a trace of evil." Ha! He laughed openly. To him, a sliver of moral taint would make it perfect, transforming the darkness into true evil soul master material. But Lin Xiao's darkness was simply too pure. It was darkness without cruelty, unlike the malevolent essences cultivated by the Holy Spirit cult's other evil soul masters. Lin Xiao was undeniably suited to falling, but Zhongliwu disliked this purity. If he couldn't find fault, he'd force one. He would pollute it, erode the soul, magnify desire, make him sink and embrace evil, and bind him to the cult. "Zhongli Ren, Zhongli Di, hurry and fetch Elder Wan Hun for me," Zhongliwu commanded. To turn Lin Xiao into an evil soul master, they needed to corrupt him, sully the pure darkness, erode his soul, amplify desires until he fell. Zhongli Ren and Zhongli Di departed at once. They knew exactly what to do. They were seasoned in these matters. Normally, they might have handled such things themselves, but Lin Xiao's darkness was uniquely promising, a potential holy son deserving of the cult leader's personal attention. Listening, Lin Xiao understood their intentions perfectly. Zhongli Wu continued, praising Zhongli Tian. "Zhongli Tian, well done. First you bring back the Phoenix Holy Maiden, and now you bring a potential holy son with the darkness attribute. Later, I'll consult the Supreme Elder and see about awarding you a spirit bone," he added, not stingy with promises. The three brothers had indeed done well. Zhongli Tian was ecstatic and bowed his thanks repeatedly. "Thank you, cult leader." "Cult leader, do you truly believe this youth can become the holy son?" Zhongli Tian asked, hopeful, even as he doubted. "If even he can't become the holy son, then no one can," Zhongli Wu replied with a chuckle. Zhongli Wu had long desired another darkness attribute powerhouse in the cult, someone he could shape himself. He couldn't order the other gifted dark power around, but now here was a candidate he could cultivate, corrupt, and claim as his masterpiece. So what if he could not command everyone? He would build his own. Chapter 132, The Wrath of Electrolux. Zhongli Wu's ambitions were not small. He even dared to think he could boss Long Xiaoyao around. Lin Xiao didn't know what was going through Zhongli Wu's head, nor did he care. He was here to take whatever he could. He would scavenge every advantage, leaving nothing for the others. If he could, he'd seize the cultivation inheritances of Ye Shishui and Long Xiaoyao as well. After all, in the original story, those were merely gifts meant for Huo Yuhao and Xiaoling's daughter. Lin Xiao had no interest in financing his enemies. Hearing Zhongli Wu's words, Zhongli Tian had not expected the cult leader to value this kid so highly. Maybe there would even be a spirit bone as a reward. The more he looked at Lin Xiao, the more delighted he became. This wasn't just a potential holy son, he was practically a money tree. He would have to cling to this thigh tightly. If Lin Xiao became the holy son, he might one day become cult leader, and then Zhongli Tian himself could become an elder. The future looked bright. With a Phoenix Holy Maiden already and possibly a holy son now, his prospects seemed boundless. A grin never left Zhongli Tian's face. If his two brothers knew, they'd be thrilled too. Zhongli Wu ignored his brother's fantasies and kept sizing up Lin Xiao, growing more satisfied with each look. If Ye Shishui had a powerhouse like Long Xiaoyao on her side, and if he could cultivate one himself, they would be unstoppable. Lin Xiao stayed perfectly still, feigning unconsciousness without the least concern. He was thinking instead about how to convert all this into energy he could use later. They waited a long time. Lin Xiao almost lost his nerve keeping up the act. Finally, a man carrying a pitch-black banner entered and approached Zhongli Wu with deep respect. "Greetings, cult leader." The banner was completely black, exuding a foul, shadowy mist. Souls flickered within its weave, trapped and writhing. The man seemed very proud of his banner. "Wan Hun, it seems your 10,000 souls banner has just had another major upgrade," Zhongli Wu said cheerfully, clearly pleased. The man called 10,000 souls Douluo waved his hand and laughed arrogantly. "Ha ha ha, cult leader, I just collected the souls of a whole village. It's nothing major, just a little upgrade." He said that, but his hand still caressed the banner with worshipful delight. He couldn't bring himself to put it down. From inside the banner, the The trapped souls occasionally thrashed, trying to escape, but always in vain. If one listened closely, the constant wailing of the souls could be heard. Damned beasts! Electrolux's voice seethed inside Lin Xiao's mind. Even as the holy necromancer, he had never willingly desecrated or tormented souls in this manner. This man was treating them like toys, cruel and without principle. How could a master of souls not be enraged? How could he not want to kill him? Xiaozi, when do we strike? When do we kill these beasts? Electrolux's voice was icy, utterly devoid of emotion. Lin Xiao felt the same hatred. Master, let's wait a bit longer. It won't be long before we can kill him. A mere rank 91 titled Douluo doesn't need you to act, Master. When the time comes, I'll deal with him myself. I won't even give his soul a chance to beg for mercy. The wails from the banner were piercing, full of pleading and despair. Lin Xiao could hear them clearly. Prayers for death, cries for mercy, yet the bonds held them fast, forcing them to endure. The sound stabbed at Lin Xiao's heart. He didn't think of himself as a saint, but he couldn't accept such cruelty. The Holy Spirit cult, he thought, had no reason to exist. Good, Xiaozi, I hope that day isn't too far off, Electrolux said coldly. He believed in Lin Xiao. Old Yao felt the same fury. He'd initially criticized Lin Xiao for going off to harvest benefits from other factions, but now he only regretted being too lenient before. This organization shouldn't be allowed to exist. Xiaozi, doesn't that Shrek school call itself the Guardian of the Continent? How could they allow such a cult to remain? Old Yao murmured, puzzled. It wasn't that Shrek lacked strength. Accommodating this kind of faction made no sense. Lin Xiao snorted inwardly. Expecting one set of beasts to police another? The odds of collusion were high. Master, do you remember Yan Xiaojie? Old Yao asked. Why bring up Yan Xiaojie all of a sudden? Lin Xiao thought. I remember that hypocrite, Electrolux replied. That Yan Xiaojie is descended from the Holy Spirit cult's supreme elder Ye Shishui and her lover Long Xiaoyao, Old Yao said, and that Mu En also liked Ye Shishui back then. Old Yao fell silent. What else could he say? The former dean had harbored feelings for her, and the current dean was her descendant. That place had a habit of producing evil soul masters. With such a lineage at the Guardian's core, what did anyone expect? In the end, Old Yao could only blame Xiao Ling, like ancestor, like descendant. Xiaozi, we await your destruction of that place, Electrolux said. If you can't manage it, call Brother Chen to step in. At worst, you'll be knocked out for a few months. Electrolux wished he could act personally, but his strength and constraints kept him from doing so as effortlessly as Old Yao could. Lin Xiao understood and replied, I know, teacher. I promise I won't let you down. 10,000 souls. Douluo looked greedily at Lin Xiao and licked his lips. Cult leader, shall I refine this kid into my 10,000 souls banner as well? Zhongli Wu quickly cut him off. I didn't call you here to refine him. Oh, 10,000 souls. Douluo's interest peaked. Could it be that this guy? Before he could finish, Zhongli Wu's imposing presence pressed down. This is our cult's holy son. At those words, 10,000 souls. Douluo immediately investigated Lin Xiao. Joy bloomed across his face when he confirmed the truth. Ha ha ha, excellent, excellent. Cult leader, leave him to me. I'll make sure he becomes a loyal holy son. By now he knew how to handle such matters. He was thoroughly experienced. A smile finally spread across Zhongli Wu's face. There's no rush. Go prepare. In 3 days, I will personally make him our holy son. Zhongli Tian, the three of you keep a close watch on him. It's fine if he remains unconscious for 3 days. If anything goes wrong, I'll hold you responsible. Zhongli Tian and the other two nodded quickly. Rest assured, cult leader, with us here, he won't be able to cause any trouble. Go now. Come to the blood pool in 3 days, Zhongli Wu ordered. Zhongli Tian and the others led Lin Xiao away, and 10,000 souls. Douluo followed them out. After they left, Zhongli Wu smiled and retreated alone to the inner depths of the hall, waiting respectfully. A soft female voice drifted through the chamber. What brings you here? Chapter 133. Torture, Soul Devastation. Zhongli Wu stood respectfully before a secluded palace deep within the main hall. A familiar female voice came from inside. His expression remained composed, but a thread of resentment ran beneath his courtesy. I want to use the Holy Spirit cult's foundations to raise a holy son, he said with an air of absolute certainty. A cold snort answered him. The one the three of you brought back. Are you sure you can make him loyal to the cult? Yeshishui's voice was laced with skepticism. She recalled how Long Xiaoyao and Muen had once been ensnared by a plot that left them tied to her side. That situation had shaped those loyalties. Zhongli Wu was not Yeshishui. He had neither her peerless beauty nor the cunning of old ghost Zhongli. He had only his own ambitions. He ground his teeth. I'll have Wanhun shape his soul until he is utterly loyal to us, he said through clenched teeth. The reply he expected had not been given. Resentment burned hotter as a result. Yeshishui's laughter was frosty. Wanhun, huh? Aren't you afraid you'll just turn your precious treasure into a slaughtering tool with no will of its own? So what? Zhongli Wu countered. If he's loyal to the cult, a tool is still a tool. It serves the purpose. A slaughtering tool is useful then? He'd pushed the wrong button. Yeshishui's pressure snapped out like a whip. In an instant, Zhongli Wu was hurled several meters back. The door swung open and a black-robed man stepped out. With one swift motion, he slapped Zhongli Wu across the face, said nothing, and went back inside. Zhongli Wu's eyes were bloodshot with fury as he stared after him. One day, he vowed, he would make that man kneel. A voice from within warned coldly, if there's a next time, suffer the consequences. Understood, Zhongli Wu replied curtly. Then Ye Shishui added, take whatever you need. At those words, a genuine smile finally reached Zhongli Wu's face. His ultimate instrument was about to be forged. He bowed and left. Inside, Ye Shishui opened her eyes and glanced at the black-robed man beside her, Long Xiaoyao. You won't take him as a disciple yourself? That boy would make a fine student, she said, her voice softening a fraction. Long Xiaoyao's answer was understated. You want me to take a disciple? Ye Shishui said nothing more and closed her eyes. Long Xiaoyao remained at her side. If she had asked him to take a disciple, he would have accepted without hesitation. But Ye Shishui had her reasons. Zhongli Wu was, in his own twisted way, her child. Even the coldest hearts keep a corner for their own flesh. Long Xiaoyao had understood that and had spoken partly to tease, but in truth, he felt a subtle disappointment. He had wanted a disciple. Outside, Lin Xiao had no idea of the scheming and politicking that had taken place. 3 days passed in a flash. For that time, Lin Xiao had pretended to be unconscious while working with Yao Lao and Electrolux to plan their next moves. The three Zhongli brothers led Lin Xiao into a hidden chamber. At the room's center lay a small, dark red lake of blood, an eerie, ethereal energy rising from it. Zhongli Di, go and fetch the Phoenix Holy Maiden. Zhongli Tian, throw the kid in, Zhongli Wu ordered. Wanhun, the rest is yours, he added, smiling without restraint as he stared at Lin Xiao. Elder Wanhun, 10,000 soul Douluo, clearly relished the role. He shook the 10,000 soul banner in his hand and grinned. Cult leader, if he ends up an idiot, you won't blame me, will you? 10,000 soul Douluo's worry was thinly veiled, the kind of concern that came from long, hard practice of cruelty. Zhongli Wu only smiled. Don't worry. Even if he becomes an idiot, it's enough so long as he's loyal to the Holy Spirit cult. That settled it. 10,000 soul Douluo's face twisted into a grim, excited grin. Then I'll begin. They threw Lin Xiao into the blood lake. He woke immediately, though he made no move to struggle. Inside the ring, Yao Lao and Electrolux were already at work. Xiao Xiaozi, the magic is ready. Xiao Ling's divine senses prepared. Electrolux's voice whispered into Lin Xiao's mind. Yao Lao held an immortal plant in his hands. This blood lake is a rare find, he said quietly. I didn't expect Zhongli Wu to invest so much. He truly wants to turn you into a killing machine. Lin Xiao managed a bitter chuckle. If a gift drops into our hands, masters, it'd be rude not to use it. Yao Lao's smile broadened as he regarded the immortal plant. I was going to refine this into a pill for you, but the lake's energy pairs perfectly with it. If we refine them together, the effect will be maximized. Lin Xiao's spirits lifted. He had worried before about lacking the auxiliary materials to refine the plant. This unexpected convergence was a godsend. Then let's do it all at once, he thought. Outside the chamber, 10,000 soul Douluo began. Souls poured from the banner like a tide, slamming toward Lin Xiao at full force. At that same moment, Yao Lao and Electrolux slipped into Lin Xiao's sea of consciousness with Xiao Ling's divine sense tied to them. The soul wraiths from the banner invaded Lin Xiao's inner world. Yao Lao and Electrolux overlaid Xiaoling's divine sense as a living shield, but the banner's souls attacked it savagely. They bit, tore, and gnawed at Xiaoling's presence without restraint. Lin Xiao writhed, contorting with pain now and then, but he held his silence. Outside, 10,000-soul Douluo laughed with perverse delight as his soul energy surged. Ah, I love that hideous expression. I love the sound of souls wailing. So beautiful. He gloated openly while Zhongli Wu and the others watched without pity. The result alone mattered to them. Saintess, Zhongli Wu said to the Fire Phoenix Holy Maiden, once Elder Wan Hun is finished, you will enter this blood lake to cultivate as well. Ma Xiaotao only nodded, watching with a calm detachment as if such scenes were commonplace. Inside Lin Xiao's consciousness, the divine sense of Xiaoling was being shredded. The souls aimed to break his last line of defense. A dark gray aura began to taint Xiaoling's presence, an attempt to contaminate and corrode it. But divine sense is not the soul itself. Even when tainted, its effects can be temporarily brushed away. The black aura was intended as poison to infect the soul. The constant biting and tearing were to rupture Xiaoling's defensive structure, to weaken the soul's resilience and make it more susceptible to collapse. Each bite was agony, sharp, intimate pain that felt as if the psychic flesh were being shredded. If divine senses could bleed, Xiaoling's would already be soaked red. Each bite was accompanied by heart-wrenching wails. The agonized cries of Xiaoling's disembodied spirit could be heard only by Lin Xiao and the few others nearby. Lin Xiao clicked his tongue twice. He had not intended to expose Xiaoling's spirit, but there was no choice. The two elders had made the decision, and he had to comply. If he had acted otherwise, he would have been the only one to bear the consequences. Xiaoling's spirit now suffered what those innocent souls had endured. Their souls had all been through the same torment before being bound into the 10,000-soul banner. It was a mercy, of a sort, that this was only his spirit and not his true body. Xiaozi, that's enough. You can only hold this up for so long, Elder Yao said calmly. Any longer, and someone will notice. Electrolux withdrew Xiaoling's spirit. He restrained the soul entities, wiped their memories, and implanted new ones. Outside, the 10,000-soul Douluo still brandished his 10,000-soul banner. Spirit rings glowed beneath his feet in the order. Yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 the most conventional combination. Even he looked exhausted from the effort. As expected of a darkness attribute soul, even his spirit resists, he muttered. Wan Hun, if it breaks, it breaks. Loyalty will do, Zhongli Wu said, unconcerned. He suspected the 10,000-soul Douluo wasn't going full out. The Douluo nodded. All right. He unleashed the full power of a titled Douluo. The black energy draped over the 10,000-soul banner thickened. More and more souls materialized, howling as they surged toward Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao let them come. All of them were restrained anyway. Heh, since you came, I'll give you a present, Electrolux snorted, manipulating the captured souls. In the next instant, he sent them outward like bombs. The 10,000-soul Douluo coughed up a mouthful of blood. Crimson dripped from the corner of his mouth. Suck? Success? But sect leader, he may have become a puppet. Be prepared for that. The souls returned, and with them came the altered memories Electrolux had planted. Zhongli Wu was delighted. Success is success. A puppet will do. The rest is unimportant. He turned to Ma Xiaotao. Jump in. Absorb the energy in that lake of blood with him. Ma Xiaotao offered no resistance and leapt down at his command. Wan Hun, make that kid start absorbing there too, Zhongli Wu ordered. Let him sink fully into depravity. Darkness is his true home. Zhongli Wu chuckled as if he were watching his masterpiece begin. 10,000-soul Douluo smiled coldly and waved his banner to force Lin Xiao to obey. To make the ruse convincing, Lin Xiao had already regained consciousness and acted the part of a puppet, cultivating in the blood lake. Xiaozi, absorb. We'll take care of the impurities in this lake, Electrolux said from within the circle, casting a spell that gradually enveloped Lin Xiao. Elder Yao covered the spell's traces so outsiders could not detect it. Lin Xiao sank to the bottom of the lake, quietly retrieved an immortal plant he had prepared, swallowed it, and began to refine. The moment he started harnessing its energy, a bloody vortex spun up around him. The vast majority of the lake's power swept toward him. Ma Xiaotao continued to draw energy too, trying to compete, but with only Spirit Saint strength, she was no match. Lin Xiao's refinement progressed slowly. The soul power contained in the immortal plant battered his body continuously. These immortal plants from the ice and fire yin-yang, well, were nothing like those from 10,000 years ago, nor like the imperfect ones Huo Yuhao had found in the original timeline. Even the weakest of these had 10,000 years of cultivation. The one Lin Xiao used wasn't a 100,000-year treasure, but it was close. Its soul power alone was enough to fuel his advancement, not to mention its special effects. Terrifying energy crashed into him without cease. The darkness in Lin Xiao thickened. Black light flickered across his body as his spirit manifested uncontrolled flashes. Electrolux converted the lake's energy while Elder Yao kept cover. Everything proceeded precisely as planned. Zhongli Wu watched with growing excitement. In his eyes, Lin Xiao under control was an advantage. The more fiercely he absorbed, the stronger he would become, and the more useful he would be. Absorb. Absorb more. From now on, you will be the holy son of my holy spirit cult, Zhongli Wu murmured, barely containing his enthusiasm. 10,000 soul Douluo had already left. The counterattack had wounded him severely. Electrolux had not held back. If he didn't heal soon, he might not even be able to control the souls in his banner. Even if he recovered to full strength, using the 10,000 soul banner would not be easy again. Lin Xiao's refinement continued. Ma Xiaotao gave up resisting and simply took what she could. Bit by bit, the energy in the lake dwindled while the immortal plant inside Lin Xiao transformed him. His spirit solidified and his power became more terrifying. His soul power still lingered at level 60, but his Do Qi level had risen markedly. Lin Xiao felt that if he consumed a 6th spirit ring, he would likely leap to level 70, a critical threshold, and be ready to condense a spirit core. 3 months passed. The lake of blood dried up. Lin Xiao opened his eyes at the bottom. His muscles were hard and defined. Like a soulless puppet, he walked to Zhongli Wu's side and stood with practiced respect, awaiting orders. Zhongli Wu was ecstatic, almost to overflowing. Good, almost comparable to ultimate darkness. Ha ha, good boy, very good, he crowed, patting Lin Xiao on the shoulder. After refining that immortal plant, Lin Xiao's darkness attribute had reached the level of ultimate darkness. Only Elder Yao's cover kept others from seeing the full extent of the change, but that did nothing to dampen Zhongli Wu's joy. The dark aura Lin Xiao radiated was already comparable to ultimate darkness. If he hadn't been corrupted by evil, he could have evolved to ultimate darkness naturally. Ha! But this is even better. Zhongli Wu laughed, his voice arrogant and triumphant, echoing through the secret chamber. Chapter 135. Go and make Xuanzi fall into demonic possession. Zhongli Wu's laughter never ceased. Lin Xiao only sneered inwardly. Zhongli Wu might think he had the upper hand, but Lin Xiao had truly won. Both of his martial souls, Ultimate Darkness and Ultimate Ice, had finally reached the ultimate tier. The road ahead would be much easier. He regarded Zhongli Wu with a quiet, assessing look. Zhongli Wu laughed for a long while before finally stopping. Then he looked down at Lin Xiao and Ma Xiaotao. Holy Sun Saintess, come here. They followed him into the great hall. Zhongli Wu took his seat on the high platform. Lin Xiao and Ma Xiaotao stood respectfully below with bowed heads. Zhongli Wu seemed very pleased with the scene, sitting high above, looking down on everyone. His lips twitched as he spoke softly. Holy Sun Saintess, I have 2 tasks for you. Tasks? Lin Xiao hadn't expected anything so soon. He said nothing and waited. Zhongli Wu continued, Holy Sun, your spirit is a body martial soul, yes? Lin Xiao only nodded. He was still acting like a puppet. Without Zhongli Wu's command, he wouldn't speak. A body martial soul, ho, very fitting for the body sect, Zhongli Wu said with keen interest. Lin Xiao's heart gave a small jolt. Had he been discovered? He hesitated inwardly, but Zhongli Wu went on. How about you join the body sect for a while? Lin Xiao was stunned inside. Really? Send him off as a spy? He had come all this way, and now they wanted him to infiltrate the body sect instead? He wanted to refuse, but as a puppet, he had to obey. Meanwhile, Zhongli Wu's tone turned cautious. But the evil aura on your body is too strong. If you go to the body sect recklessly, you might not even get past their gates. And according to the Saintess intel, the body sect already has a holy sun. your impact there would be limited. Between keeping a cultivated holy son and risking him at the body sect, Zhongliwu hesitated. If the holy son he'd worked on ended up lost to another sect, it would be a serious blow. Ma Xiaotao, who had been standing to the side, suddenly spoke up. Make Xuanzi into an evil soul master. At that suggestion, Lin Xiao was even more stunned. Send him to Shrek to corrupt Xuanzi? That was practically a death sentence. He glared inwardly. Ma Xiaotao was out to get him. As a puppet, he showed no outward reaction and cursed silently. Zhongliwu became interested. He'd already gleaned Shrek's memories from Ma Xiaotao and had some understanding of Xuanzi's situation. Although Xuanzi had been broken, he still had potential. If the Tao Ti Divine Bull could be turned into an evil soul master, it would be a monumental victory for the Holy Spirit cult. No one from Shrek had ever reached that rank. Success would also raise Zhongliwu's prestige. This plan appealed to him far more than sending Lin Xiao to the body sect. Saintus, since you suggested it, I'll entrust this task to you, Zhongliwu declared. Ma Xiaotao blinked in surprise and immediately objected. Leader, given the Holy Son's abilities and attributes, it would be easier for him to handle this. If I go to Shrek, I'll be facing certain death, Lin Xiao thought desperately. But Zhongliwu waved the objection away. I'll send the abomination Doulo with you. You were originally from Shrek. If you personally train Xuanzi into an evil soul master, the success rate will be much higher. It's decided. Depart in 3 days. Succeed, and upon your return you will be rewarded with a spirit bone. Zhongliwu's orders left no room for argument. Lin Xiao was his most prized creation. He couldn't afford to lose him. Faced with the leader and Ma Xiaotao's suggestion, Zhongliwu chose the course that minimized his risks. Caught off guard, Ma Xiaotao had no choice but to obey. Yes, she answered. With Ma Xiaotao's reply, Zhongliwu relaxed and then turned his gaze to Lin Xiao. Since the body sect plan is off the table and the candidate for Xuanzi is handled, I will personally take you to obtain a spirit ring. Lin Xiao just nodded, like a soldier following orders. Privately, he asked Old Yao if they could control Zhongliwu. Old Yao chuckled in his mind. Not difficult. When he takes you to hunt for souls, the Snow Empress and I will act personally. That reassurance eased Lin Xiao. Zhongliwu was far weaker than Dubuzi. With the Snow Empress and Old Yao intervening, the situation would be under control. Besides, his 6th spirit ring had to be over 200,000 years old. His 5th was already that old, so he wouldn't settle for anything less. The ring Zhongliwu intended to hunt would be at most 100,000 years old and wasn't worth much to him. Still, by getting a new ring now, he would reach level 70. He wouldn't miss the chance. 3 days later, Zhongliwu personally saw Ma Xiaotao and the abomination Douluo off as they left the Holy Spirit cult for Shrek. He himself led Lin Xiao into the depths of the Evil Spirit Forest. The Evil Spirit Forest was vast, a forbidden zone in the Sun Moon Empire. Its ruler, the Evil Eye Tyrant Sovereign, stood second among the 10 great savage beasts, an undeniably formidable power. Chapter 136, Snow Empress Suppresses Zhongliwu. The Evil Spirit Forest was unnervingly quiet. Only the occasional crow sliced across the sky, cawing into the stillness. Zhongliwu led Lin Xiao through the shadowed trees. Lin Xiao, Zhongliwu said, if you run into an Evil Eye Tyrant, announce your identity as a member of the Holy Spirit cult. Lin Xiao didn't ask why. He followed obediently, his mind already working through how to handle Zhongliwu. Killing him outright was impossible. If he wanted to control Zhongliwu, he would have to alter a few memories, quietly, cleanly, and this journey might provide the chance. Zhongliwu seemed pleased with Lin Xiao's submissiveness and patted him lightly on the shoulder. Lin Xiao rarely spoke, but he could still converse silently with Old Yao and Electrolux in his head. The Holy Spirit cult knew the Evil Spirit Forest better than anyone. They understood its dangers, and so Zhongliwu was cautious as they walked. He knew where the 100,000-year spirit beasts were. Of course, those ancient beasts were not Evil Eye Tyrants. Zhongliwu wasn't foolish enough to hunt allies. If he had provoked a 100,000-year Evil Eye Tyrant, even Yeshi Shui might not have been able to protect him. Xiao Xiaozi, Old Yao's voice rung gently in Lin Xiao's mind. The 100,000-year spirit beast the cult leader found for you is just ahead. Around here, other than that 100,000-year spirit beast, there are no other masters, Electrolux added. Old Yao's tone implied permission. Lin Xiao read between the lines, attack only when they started fighting. He replied without moving, no rush, master. I'll wait until they start before I strike. When the time comes, master, please conceal the surroundings so the battle can't be detected, Lin Xiao added. Old Yao stroked his beard. That's easy. The Snow Empress already warned us about the evil-eye tyrant sovereign. But Xiaozi, even if I take steps to conceal the scene, it will be hard to keep it completely hidden. If a barrier suddenly appears in the middle of the evil spirit forest, an opponent of the evil emperor's caliber might still sense it. The Snow Empress said she could only draw even with him. That tells you how strong he is. His mental energy is even greater than DTian's. He can't beat DTian, but he does have the edge in mental energy. Don't worry, master. If the evil emperor comes, we'll fight him. Lin Xiao was itching to see the opponent's strength himself. He had been in this world a long time, but had never encountered the evil-eye tyrant sovereign in person. Old Yao chuckled. If you and the Snow Empress cooperate, it shouldn't be difficult. But don't be careless. Every master has a trump card. Prepare spells and tricks for yourself. I understand, Lin Xiao answered. As they spoke, Zhongli Wu stopped and stared ahead. Lin Xiao looked up and saw what Zhongli Wu had seen, a darkness attribute 100,000-year spirit beast lying on the ground, gnawing at something. When it noticed them, it let loose a roar. Human, are you seeking death? The beast was stubborn and audacious, challenging Zhongli Wu without showing any deference. Zhongli Wu only chuckled. Lin Xiao, step aside and watch how I subdue it. Lin Xiao smiled inwardly and slipped behind Zhongli Wu. Through their mental link, he sent the signal. Master, when the fight starts, we strike. Old Yao and Electrolux both nodded internally. The forest around them seemed to swallow sound and light. Zhongli Wu moved first. He manifested his blood soul magic puppet spirit, and the spirit rings beneath his feet flared. Black, 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 then red, 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 a terrifying configuration. The Holy Spirit cult used dark arts to upgrade spirit rings. Zhongli Wu's set was the result. When Zhongli Wu made his move, Lin Xiao opened a black portal right behind him. Old Yao silently veiled the battlefield, and from the portal stepped the Snow Empress. She didn't bother to hide her limit Douluo aura. Empress's palm, great snow without chill, she intoned without mercy. Zhongli Wu barely registered the Snow Empress's arrival before the blow hit. He looked back and saw Lin Xiao collapsed on the ground, or so it seemed. He managed only to gasp, "You are the Snow Empress." Before he could react further, the Snow Empress struck again. Emperor's Sword, Ice Extreme Peerless. Hearing the names of those techniques, Lin Xiao, pretending to be unconscious, felt a cold nod of sympathy for Zhongli Wu. Taking two of the three great ultimate techniques at the outset left almost no room to resist. There was also the 100,000-year spirit beast watching like a tiger at the edge of a kill. Zhongli Wu had no chance. Done, the Snow Empress said softly as she came to Lin Xiao's side, seeking acknowledgement. Lin Xiao rose as if waking and gave her a thumbs up. Well done, Snow Empress. The 100,000-year spirit beast padded over, wary of Lin Xiao, but full of respect for the Snow Empress. Thank you for saving my life, it said with reverence. It recognized Lin Xiao as human, but the Snow Empress was a true spirit beast of unparalleled status. Before anyone could speak further, Old Yao's voice slid into their minds, calm but urgent. The evil emperor should be coming. They had been discovered after all. Lin Xiao and the Snow Empress exchanged a quick look and settled into silent readiness. In less than a breath, the evil emperor arrived. He descended before them with terrifying speed. The evil emperor's arrival set off alarm bells in the Snow Empress. She watched him with wary eyes. Lin Xiao matched her vigilance, brow tightening as he sized up this legendary tyrant sovereign. Snow Empress, one of the three great heavenly kings of the far north, why are you with a human? The evil emperor rumbled. You human, you're unusual, he added, staring straight at the simple storage ring on Lin Xiao's finger. He tried to peer into it, but Yao Lao's powerful soul force shielded the ring. Even someone as formidable as the evil emperor could only sense its uniqueness. He couldn't see inside. That only made him more obsessed with it. Back in the sea, the Sea Princess had also felt something about Lin Xiao's ring, but she lacked the evil emperor's perception. Facing a mental energy master like the evil emperor, Lin Xiao's anomaly could no longer be hidden. Inside there is something I need. If I swallow it, I can survive the eighth great tribulation, the evil emperor muttered, greed curling his voice. He looked at Lin Xiao with hunger now in his expression. The Snow Empress kicked the unconscious Zhongli Wu at her feet and sneered. Heh, the evil eye tyrant sovereign of the evil spirit forest, consorting with a human? The evil emperor merely chuckled, unfazed, his gaze fixed on Lin Xiao's ring. Snow Empress, hand this human to me, and I'll overlook your trespass in the evil spirit forest. Clearly he wanted whatever was in that ring. Would the Snow Empress comply? Of course not. Lin Xiao had intended only to speak with the evil emperor, but the creature's fixation on Yao Lao forced his hand. Do it, Snow Empress. Don't waste words with him. Lin Xiao's brow nodded. His flame spirit coalesced in his palm. The Snow Empress's expression hardened. You shouldn't have targeted him. Emperor's sword, ice extreme peerless, she intoned. A blade of condensed frost sprang to life, its tip aimed dead at the evil emperor. The evil emperor laughed contemptuously. You, one of the 10 great savage beasts? Do you think you can harm me? He had cultivated for 790,000 years. No ice sky snow lady should compare. But then the Snow Empress's sword light descended, and the evil emperor suddenly grew pale with alarm. How could she be this strong? Snow Empress, you're courting death, he roared, unleashing the full force of his cultivation in a devastating palm strike. The Snow Empress met his attack without flinching. White met black in the air as the two figures collided, a terrifying aura pouring outward. Each impact shattered more of the surroundings. Lin Xiao watched closely, noting the nearby 100,000-year spirit beast that had already fled. 4 flames gathered before him. Condense, he whispered. The flames, white, red, purple, and red-blue, circled Lin Xiao and began to weave together under the flow of his burning technique. Du Qi and soul power surged. The flames fused into a resplendent fire lotus at his chest. Petals formed, and energy from his whole body funneled into that blooming core. Buddha's Fury Fire Lotus! Shwer, move! Now! Lin Xiao shouted. Hearing his roar, the Snow Empress hesitated mid-battle and retreated instinctively. She had seen the Fire Lotus before and understood its danger. While pulling back, she unleashed her third ultimate technique. Imperial Cold Sky, Snow Dance Shining Sun. The evil emperor's attention had been fixed on the Snow Empress. He barely registered Lin Xiao as a threat. But when the Fire Lotus shot toward him, homing like a guided weapon, he realized his mistake. One strike came from the Snow Empress's ultimate, the other from Lin Xiao's Lotus, both comparable to the force of a limit Douluo. Damn it! He cursed and poured everything into his defense. The two attacks struck together. Boom! An enormous explosion hurled the evil emperor back, blood at the corner of his mouth, the world ringing in his ears. The Snow Empress landed at Lin Xiao's side and watched the fallen tyrant sovereign with guarded eyes. Coughing, the evil emperor wiped his mouth and spat, "You, very well," before another flurry of blows from the Snow Empress cut him off. Even with his legendary defenses, the combined blow had left him badly wounded. A fully intact Snow Empress against an injured evil emperor became a one-sided massacre. He howled and cursed, utterly humiliated as the Snow Empress pummeled him until he lay battered before Lin Xiao. You're only at level 60 cultivation. How can you unleash an attack comparable to a limit Douluo? He gasped, mouth twitching as he glared at Lin Xiao. And how could that attack affect my mental energy? The Snow Empress said nothing, standing watchful at Lin Xiao's side. Heh, that's classified, evil emperor, Lin Xiao replied, calm. Yao Lao's voice sounded in Lin Xiao's mind. Urgent. Leave quickly. 2 powerful figures from the Holy Spirit cult are approaching. Lin Xiao's face darkened. He opened a portal to the undead semi-plane and dragged both the evil emperor and the unconscious Zhongli Wu through. The Snow Empress struck the ground once more with a palm and followed them into the semi-plane. As they crossed, the evil emperor blinked dazedly. Where was this place? Who had done this to him? He tried to speak, but the Snow Empress's fierce glare silenced him. The odds were against him. He had no choice. Snow Empress, are you all right? The evil emperor managed with effort. She shook her head slightly. I'm fine. Even without your help, I would have been on equal footing with the evil emperor now, she said, voice steady. Equal footing? The evil emperor scoffed, simmering with wounded pride. Don't boast. If I hadn't been ambushed by this brat, beating you would have been as easy as swatting a rat. Slap. As the evil emperor finished speaking, the Snow Empress's palm slammed into him and sent him hurtling 100 meters before he crashed to the ground. Lin Xiao smirked inwardly. Told you to shut up, he thought. The evil emperor had gotten himself hit for nothing. But the Snow Empress didn't stop with that one blow. She forced the evil-eye tyrant sovereign's true form out of hiding. A colossal eye, over 300 meters across, was battered black and blue by her strike. The evil emperor hissed and dodged, face pale with alarm. This woman, was she really this powerful? He could hardly believe someone with only 700,000 years of cultivation could be more ferocious in battle than he was. Snow Empress, wait until I recover, he snarled stubbornly. He wouldn't accept defeat. He blamed the boy for that sneak attack that had crippled him. A cold chuckle cut through him. Heh, evil emperor, even at your peak, you'd be at best matched with the Snow Empress. The voice belonged to the Ice Empress, who had stepped out from the circle and floated to the Snow Empress's shoulder, looking at the evil emperor with obvious contempt. The evil emperor blinked. You are the Ice Empress? He struggled back into his human form, bewildered by the Ice Empress's strange appearance. Human, yet not entirely human. It seems the evil emperor hasn't been beaten stupid yet. She taunted. He glared, humiliated. The Snow Empress kept her gaze fixed on him like a hawk. Lin Xiao smiled as he regarded the evil emperor. Evil emperor, can we have a proper talk now? He spoke evenly. The evil emperor noticed how even these two far north sovereigns deferred to this human, though he didn't understand their relationship. What do you want to talk about? He asked, forcing his voice steady. Lin Xiao's smile widened. I'll give you two options. Die now or die later. The evil emperor flinched. That wasn't a choice. Either way was death. He sneered inwardly. The human was courting trouble. Lin Xiao coughed once. I didn't make myself clear. Die now means you immediately become my 6th spirit ring. Die later means you'll become my 9th spirit ring when I reach level 90. The evil emperor's eyes widened. Still death either way, he muttered. Lin Xiao nodded. Kinda. It's not a true death. You'll be put into the same state as the Ice Empress. Hearing that, the evil emperor stared at the Ice Empress anew. Her state had seemed strange from the start. Now Lin Xiao's explanation made it look like a kind of soul spirit existence. Lin Xiao continued, calmly explaining the nature of soul spirits. He sounded confident, and he had reason to be. If the evil emperor refused, Lin Xiao could simply kill him. But if he rejected the offer, there would be no soul spirit at all, only annihilation. You can refuse if you can bear the consequences, Lin Xiao said. He added another card. And by the way, we're cooperating with Detian. We've also met the one behind Detian. Would you like that person to come looking for you personally? You haven't forgotten that scene when you were scared off while trying to seize the Skydream ice worm, have you? His voice was calm but cutting. The evil emperor's eyes bulged. How did this human know about that? The Skydream ice worm theft, something not even the Snow Empress or Ice Empress had known about, had been private. Lin Xiao even knew about the mysterious figure behind Detian. The evil emperor's thoughts raced. He realized the human was telling the truth. But what power, what connection, allowed him to know such details? He could not fathom it. He glared at the two far north sovereigns. Why are the two of you following him? The Ice Empress laughed. Xiao Xiaozi, the evil emperor still underestimates you. Lin Xiao shrugged. With my level 60 strength, I struck with the full power of a limit Douluo. Do you think I didn't have the right? The evil emperor's expression faltered. Without that sneak attack, the battle's outcome might have been different. Lin Xiao's 4 flames flared briefly in demonstration. The evil emperor hastily waved his hand. Don't, he thought, and then asked, bargaining instinctively. If I become your soul spirit, what do I get? I don't care about Detian. What's in it for me? The evil emperor was no fool. Nothing came for free. Lin Xiao smiled a little. I can let you become a god. Is that sufficient? Those words hit a nerve. Lin Xiao pressed farther. Look at the situation. The 800,000-year tribulation you're approaching. If you truly can't survive it, you went to the Stardew Great Forest to seize the Skydream Iceworm because you needed a way out. If you'd been able to handle the tribulation honestly, you wouldn't have had to risk that. The evil emperor's face darkened. Lin Xiao was speaking the truth, and the truth was an accusation. You can choose to become my 9th spirit ring. I'll give you time to ask Detian, to ask the Silver Dragon King Guyuena. You're a spirit beast sovereign. If you don't trust the Snow Empress and the Ice Empress completely, at least the sovereign of the Soul Beast's word should count for something. Lin Xiao wasn't worried about the evil emperor suddenly fleeing. If you try to run, you can try. If I catch you once, I can catch you a second time. The second time there will be no choice, only death where your soul is annihilated. He said those bleak words with the gentlest tone possible. The evil emperor trembled. The harmless demeanor Lin Xiao had shown earlier was gone. Now he felt utterly unrateable. Isn't there any option that doesn't involve becoming a spirit ring? The evil emperor asked. What if I cooperate, like Detian and the others? Lin Xiao shook his head. If you were a spirit beast with attributes like the Snow Empress or the others, I might not make you a soul spirit, but your attributes and your mental energy are exactly what I need. That's why I made you this offer. The evil emperor blinked. But aren't your spirit and ultimate attribute ice? How can you need my attributes? Lin Xiao's expression turned serious. Yes, my true spirit is ultimate ice, but a Douluo can have multiple spirits. The true spirit determines a soul's core attribute, but soul spirits are different. They supply additional attributes, energy, and special abilities that the master can call upon. Your mental energy depth and those unique qualities you have, the ones that let you do what you did to the Stardew Great Forest, are rare. They complement my current build. He paused, measuring each word. More importantly, after you become a soul spirit, you don't vanish forever. Your consciousness, your essence, your memories, they endure. You become part of me, but you're not obliterated. That's far better than being torn apart by the tribulation. The evil emperor looked away, torn. The Snow Empress and Ice Empress watched him like judges. Around them, the ring of spectators fell silent, waiting. Finally, he asked, voice low, if I agree now, I become your 6th ring. If I wait, you promise I'll be your 9th ring at level 90. But how can I trust you'll keep your promise? Lin Xiao met his eyes steadily. Ask Detian. Ask Guyuena. If they vouch for me, you'll have them as witnesses. I'm also giving you a choice. Immediate placement at 6th ring for protection now, or delayed placement at 9th ring when I reach level 90. But delay comes with risks. Don't forget what I said about running. The evil emperor's breathing was shallow. No promise of divinity was absolute. No guarantee could remove the fear of the tribulation. But the alternative, certain death, loomed larger. He looked at the Snow Empress, then at the Ice Empress. The two sovereigns nodded slightly, both solemn. The evil emperor swallowed. After a long moment, he spoke with a voice that had lost some of its earlier arrogance. I will accept becoming your soul spirit, he said. Not now. I want to wait. Let me speak with Detian and Guyuena and make sure they will stand as witnesses. If you renege, then I will never run. Lin Xiao inclined his head. You have time, but don't take too long. The evil emperor closed his eyes, and the enormous eye that had been battered by the Snow Empress slowly shrank. The air around him hummed as he considered the bargain he had just agreed to, a bargain between survival and surrender, between independence and continuing existence. Outside the ring, the wind from the far north sighed, as if the world itself were holding its breath. Ultimate ice was all Lin Xiao showed. He stood silent before the evil emperor and casually displayed his body martial soul. Spirit rings glowed beneath his feet, purple, black, black, red, red, untampered with by any age-enhancing rites. Ultimate ice is only my 2nd spirit, Lin Xiao said calmly. My main spirit is a body martial soul with the ultimate darkness attribute. He waited with an indifferent expression. Any more questions, evil emperor? The Ice Empress scoffed. Evil emperor, be dignified. Just let Lin Xiao kill you now and become one of his spirit rings. Then you'll have fewer choices to worry about. The evil emperor rolled his eyes. No one wanted to die if they could avoid it. He ignored the empress, and beside Lin Xiao, 4 more soul spirits emerged. Xiao He, Xiao Yi, Xiao Mo, and the merfolk elder. Lin Xiao's gesture was sincere. Gritting his teeth, the evil emperor said, "Fine, I'll consult Di Tian. If everything you say checks out, I will personally sacrifice myself to become your ninth spirit ring. But before I do that, I want another fight with the Snow Empress." He glared at the Snow Empress with rising battle intent. That prior loss had been a humiliation, a dignified second-rank great beast beaten by a woman after being ambushed, and he was determined to reclaim his honor. The Snow Empress's lips parted. Her voice was ice-cold. "If you want to fight, I don't mind. Don't blame me if you end up crying from the beating." The evil emperor snorted. "If it weren't for that kid's sneak attack, it might not have gone that way." The Snow Empress regarded him with contempt. He opened his mouth to retort, but fell silent under her withering gaze. She would beat him within an inch of his life if he tried. Sulking, the evil emperor changed the subject. "Now, can you let me go?" "No rush." Lin Xiao waved him off. "There's something else." The evil emperor frowned. Lin Xiao continued, "I need a darkness attribute spirit ring over 200,000 years old. That shouldn't be too hard for you, right?" The evil emperor nodded. "I'll find your sixth spirit ring. Decisive, as expected of the ruler of the evil spirit forest." Lin Xiao's tone was teasing. Then he pointed at Zhongli Wu, who lay nearby. The evil emperor recognized him immediately. "The sect leader of the Holy Spirit cult. You want me to impersonate him?" Lin Xiao's eyes brightened. "That's a perfect idea." The evil emperor's expression shifted. The plan had been offered like a pillow at the moment of sleep. "How confident are you in impersonating Zhongli Wu?" Lin Xiao asked more seriously. "About 70%, the evil emperor said after considering it. Ye Shishui and Long Xiaoyao are both limit Douluos, and Zhongli Wu is Ye Shishui's child. Deceiving a mother is the hard part." Lin Xiao thought for a moment. "What if you stay away from the Holy Spirit cult and head to the Sun Moon Empire instead? Zhongli Wu is the imperial preceptor there. It'll be risky to pull it off inside his own sect, but in the Sun Moon Empire, it should be much easier." The evil emperor glanced at him. "That could work. But why have me impersonate Zhongli Wu in the first place?" Lin Xiao grinned. "To plunder the Holy Spirit cult's resources." The evil emperor stared speechless. "Are you really that short on resources?" Lin Xiao nodded. "You'll see when I condense my first spirit ring how much I need." Then he fixed the evil emperor with a look. "You must have plenty of resources yourself. Since you're here, won't you hand some over?" The evil emperor snorted but promised, "I'll give them to you after I confirm everything with the Silver Dragon King." Lin Xiao clicked his tongue at the lack of immediate sincerity. The evil emperor, irritated by the look, said, "Let me out now, and I'll find a spirit beast over 200,000 years for you." "Let's go together," Lin Xiao said. The evil emperor did not refuse. Lin Xiao calculated the timing. There should be no one left outside. He opened the portal to the undead semi-plane. The Snow Empress froze Zhongli Wu, sealed him, and they left together. Outside it was quiet. Ye Shishui and Long Xiaoyao had scanned the area and gone. The evil emperor, still injured, led them back to his palace. "Make yourselves at home." No sooner had he spoken than an evil-eyed tyrant swaggered over. "Father, is this the wife you found for me?" He leered at the Snow Empress, possessiveness written all over his face. The evil emperor's expression darkened. "You unfilial son." It was already too late. The Snow Empress unleashed a single, merciless strike. Empress's palm, snowless cold. The blow sent the evil-eyed tyrant flying hundreds of meters, smashing through the palace. She swooped after him and began beating him with ruthless efficiency. "Don't panic, evil emperor," Lin Xiao said, trying to sound reassuring. "The Snow Empress knows when to stop. He'll need lots of healing, but he won't die." The evil emperor could only grimace and hope she meant it. When she finished, the creature that staggered back was barely recognizable. "I left him alive out of respect for you," the Snow Empress said coldly as she returned to Lin Xiao's side. Sighing, the evil emperor had little to say. The fault was his son's. He took the wretched creature away for treatment and then went to hunt down a 200,000-year spirit beast for Lin Xiao. About 15 minutes later, the evil emperor came back with a deep purple variegated tiger that clearly exceeded 200,000 years. "Lin Xiao, do with this spirit beast as you wish. I'm heading to the Star Do Great Forest now." He left without delay. Lin Xiao let him go. Some things were only trustworthy once confirmed multiple times. He turned to the tiger. Sacrifice yourself to me later, following my instructions. It won't cause your actual death. The tiger inclined its head respectfully. All right, human. Lin Xiao added, can you condense an external spirit bone? My gloomy, evil purple gold tiger clan has a metacarpal similar to the dark golden terror claw bears. It's not as good, but it's precious. I can condense that metacarpal bone for you, the tiger replied. Lin Xiao nodded. Good, I'll take the metacarpal bone. Chapter 140, Shrek is being targeted again. Under Lin Xiao's guidance, the gloomy, evil purple gold tiger began its sacrifice, and a vast tide of energy rolled through the depths of the evil spirit forest. This was the Evil Eye Tyrant Sovereign's territory, an area even Ye Shishui and Long Xiaoyao would not casually enter. That was the only reason Lin Xiao felt bold enough to accept the sacrifice so brazenly. The sacrifice's energy was enormous. Combined with Lin Xiao's prior accumulation, the moment the spirit ring crystallized beneath his feet, his soul power surged, jumping cleanly to level 70. The aura around him swelled, his strength climbing steadily. Only when the forest returned to its usual stillness did Lin Xiao fully come back from the sacrifice's effects. He opened his eyes and drew a long breath, savoring the new power coursing through him. Snow Empress, how long have I been cultivating? He asked, turning slowly to the Snow Empress beside him. 3 weeks, she replied, parting her lips slightly. Are you already on the verge of becoming a titled Douluo? The Snow Empress could immediately tell that Lin Xiao's current power was comparable to a titled Douluo. Lin Xiao shook his head. It should be considered the strength of a 9-star Do Ling. I won't dare break through to Do Wang right now. If his Do Qi broke to Do Wang while old Yao was still suppressing his cultivation, his body might not withstand it. There was even a risk of bursting. Lin Xiao kept that danger firmly in mind. That was why he stopped at 9-star Do Ling and sealed away the excess energy. The Snow Empress, having learned the battle through the heavens cultivation system from old Yao, understood the situation. She asked with concern, Lin Xiao, can you handle the convergence of 2 kinds of energy? Lin Xiao smiled. Don't worry. I already planned for that when I decided to pursue 2 cultivation paths. When I get my 7th spirit ring, I'll use the Demon Empress's terrifying soul power to help me condense my first dark soul core. The Snow Empress thought for a moment and felt there was nothing wrong with that plan. With old Yao's presence, she was much more at ease. Demon Empress? Lin Xiao, why haven't I heard of her before? You might not know the name Demon Empress, but you should recognize the Deep-Sea Demon Whale King, Lin Xiao said. The Deep-Sea Demon Whale King? Lin Xiao, are you serious? Before the Snow Empress could respond, the returning evil emperor blurted, shocked. Lin Xiao and the Snow Empress looked over. You're back? Looks like you got what you wanted. First, tell us about that Deep-Sea Demon Whale King, the Snow Empress urged. I sensed his aura in the ocean 10,000 years ago, the evil emperor said, puzzled. But wasn't he killed by sea god Xiaoling 10,000 years ago? Lin Xiao corrected him. That was a slip of the tongue. The Demon Empress isn't the Deep-Sea Demon Whale King. She's also a deep-sea demon whale. She was his wife 10,000 years ago. I exchanged blows with her in the deep sea before, Lin Xiao added. The evil emperor shot him a contemptuous glance. You exchanged blows with the Demon Empress? If it weren't for the report I got from the Lord, I might have believed you. Lin Xiao rolled his eyes. I suggest you rephrase that, evil emperor, or I won't mind letting my teacher take over the account and fight for me. The evil emperor scoffed. Go on. What happened after that? After that, she fled, Lin Xiao said. People from Sea God Island arrived. It was only a brief clash. If the Demon Empress wants me dead, I won't be polite to her, the evil emperor said, a little sheepish at how things had turned out. Thankfully, he'd been sensible enough at the time to capture someone rather than try to kill them outright. Fine. When the time comes, we'll hunt her together. I want to test her strength myself. Lin Xiao chuckled. Don't underestimate her. She's extremely strong, ruthless to herself and to other spirit beasts. Your kind can't become gods, but she reached the god level through sheer will 10,000 years later. She even became a hair stronger than Di Tian. She's a true god-level spirit beast without a god position. She isn't invincible yet, but her talent is brilliant even among the Soul Beast clan. You worry about surviving an 800,000-year tribulation, and she climbed to god level on her own. Give her another 10,000 years, and it's hard to say who would win. Both the Evil Emperor and the Snow Empress inhaled sharply. The Demon Empress truly was exceptional. Lin Xiao, what about me? What's my future without you? The Evil Emperor asked, excitement flickering in his voice. You became a spirit ring, Lin Xiao replied bluntly. In the end, you still became a god, so you could call it a good ending. The Evil Emperor's expression fell. He had never escaped the fate of becoming a spirit ring. By the way, Evil Emperor, did you see the auspicious beast? Lin Xiao asked. He had been away from Xiaolinger for a while and missed her. No, the Evil Emperor said. I didn't see the auspicious beast or Dtian. Besides Bear King, who's still guarding the Silver Dragon King, all the other great beasts of the Star Do Great Forest have left. Lin Xiao nodded. They were likely searching for heaven and earth treasures for the Silver Dragon King or accompanying the auspicious beast into Dragon Valley. He turned to the Evil Emperor and changed the subject. Now, can you take Zhongli Wu's place? With my teacher's help, I'm 90% sure I can, the Evil Emperor said confidently. My mental energy is no joke. In that case, extract Zhongli Wu's memories, Lin Xiao instructed. You must imitate him well. You don't need to release your spirit constantly, just occasionally. That shouldn't be a problem, right? The Evil Emperor waved a hand. Hey, Zhongli Wu hasn't acted in a long time. Pausing his movements for a while won't matter. Don't you bear a grudge against Shrek? Lin Xiao pressed. When the time comes, I'll take a trip to Shrek and have Zhongli Wu die there. The Evil Emperor snorted. How big of a deal could that be? Impersonating the Holy Spirit cult's leader will be a piece of cake. With Old Yao and Electrolux backing me, there's no risk of exposure. Old Yao's power can even surpass a dragon god. We should cling to such an ally. Lin Xiao's mouth twitched at the thought of framing Shrek. The resentment these spirit beasts bore towards Shrek was deep. No wonder they wanted vengeance. Not scattering the ashes of everyone in Shrek on the spot had already been mercy. Fine, Lin Xiao said. Do as you think. Xuanzi is coming to the Holy Spirit cult soon. We can find some fun for Shrek then. He hadn't forgotten Xuanzi. Now that Zhongli Wu was one of his, tripping him up would be simple.